It's Wednesday, December 17th.
Two things that productivity depends on is having trust and faith in the work that everyone does.
A new report says federal government employee productivity should be put under a microscope, but federal public sector unions say spying on workers would do more harm than good.
Some good news for transit users. Testing is set to begin on the Eastern LRT extension early in the new year, according to officials.
Some children won't have a Christmas dinner, and this makes sure that everybody does.
And a special Christmas meal delivery to students at an Ottawa elementary school. Your Morning Ottawa starts right now. Good Wednesday morning. I'm Rosie Edda.
I'm Willie Yellow. Melissa is away today, but don't worry, we got you covered on the weather front. It is going to be a little bit different over the next couple of days with mild temperatures taking place.
I feel it already walking in. I was like, okay, much milder today. We'll get a full range of the forecast coming up in the next few minutes. But first, your top stories.
Yes, a little bit of rain in there too. So we're going to start with a new report aimed at improving productivity in the federal public sector. It's getting a thumbs down from unions who say that monitoring worker performance levels isn't the answer.
Two things that productivity depends on is having trust and faith in the work that everyone does.
The report was commissioned by the president of the Treasury Board last year and finds that the government has no clear way to measure how well work gets done. One suggested way that is not in effect is through a snitch process, which would help the feds track so-called underperforming workers and then issue an annual report. In the meantime, new developments on the government's plan to reduce the size of the federal public service. It appears hundreds of people working at Natural Resources Canada could lose their jobs in the coming years. In a statement to CTV News Ottawa, the department confirms it has sent 700 letters to interdeterminate employees to inform them that their position will or may be impacted by future changes. It goes on to say there are plans to eliminate approximately 400 positions by 2028-29. This is part of the government's plan to find $60 billion in savings.
Transit users in the East End could be one step closer to riding the new LRT extension. Work continues on the line, which runs from Blair to Trim Station. Deficiencies were discovered in the fall, and crews have since worked on track infrastructure and reinforcing concrete. But in an update yesterday, Mayor Mark Sutcliffe said testing should begin in early January, and OC Transpo says residents could be riding the train by the end of March. Canada's premiers are set to meet virtually with the Prime Minister later this week. Mark Carney will be hosting the First Ministers meeting on Thursday, and although it's said to be virtual, CTV News has confirmed that Ontario Premier Doug Ford will be there in person. There's no word yet on the focus of the meeting, but in the past it has been to update the premiers on trade talks between Canada and the U.S. The last meeting was a month ago on November 17th.
One teenager is dead and another is facing impaired driving charges after a vehicle rolled off the road. This happened across the road from Cedar Hill Christmas Tree Farm in Pakenham just before midnight Monday. Police say no other vehicles were involved. An 18-year-old passenger did not survive. The driver and another passenger did. The 17-year-old driver is scheduled to appear in court next month.
Skate Canada says it will no longer host national and international events in Alberta because of the province's gender law. The law, which came into effect in September, blocks transgender athletes from Alberta who are 12 and older from competing in female amateur sports. Skate Canada says the law means it can no longer maintain its national standards for safe and inclusive sport.
A menorah lighting on Parliament Hill doubled as a powerful show of unity.
This is a group of Muslims and of Christians that have built a relationship over the last 2 years and recognize the importance of building bridges and in particular building people up in harder times. And this is a very difficult time for the Jewish community, and so to be amongst friends and to know that I could count on both allyship in the Christian and the Muslim community has been a source of hope.
So as you heard there, Jewish, Christian, and Muslim leaders gathering for the festive Hanukkah event in the wake of the horrific mass shooting in Australia. Organizers say the event came together rather quickly, and the support from members of different faiths was moving. Florida's governor has dropped the gloves after these comments made by Ontario Premier Doug Ford on travel during the trade war.
It's going to be the first time I'm not going to Florida, but I talked to so many people. Don't let this guy, Trump, determine and ruin your life and everything. That's my personal choice. They're hurting down there right now. They're hurting on all fronts. They're hurting on their economy.
Florida Governor Ron DeSantis fired back on X, saying, actually, we continue to break tourism records and win Stanley Cups.
The federal government's Buy Canadian policy is now in effect.
Canada needs to be its own best customer.
The strategy is meant to ensure Canadian products, materials, and workers are prioritized in federal procurement decisions. It applies to the government's new major projects and housing offices, defense procurement, and community infrastructure projects. The first stage of the policy requires contracts valued at $25 million or more prioritize Canadian businesses and materials. Ontario's Victoria Mboko has received a special honor. Mboko has been named Newcomer of the Year by the Professional Women's Tennis Tour. The Canadian star raised her ranking from outside the top 300 to inside the top 20 after an impressive 2025 campaign. Highlights included winning the WTA 1000 National Bank Open in August and a WTA title in Hong Kong last month.
A new subway stop at Rome's historic Colosseum has finally opened after some long delays.
Okay, so it's not just any transit stop. The museum-like station has 4 underground levels where riders and tourists can view archaeological treasures that were discovered during construction.
Visitors will ascend through layers of the city's history, including ancient walls and wells, before catching a glimpse of the iconic Colosseum.
Can you imagine that?
Oh, that would be so cool to see.
Oh.
Even just seeing the Colosseum alone, I think, is cool. And now you've got this whole journey before you even get there.
Right, you can get underneath there and see the archaeological finds. That is some fascinating stuff. I love it. And I think some folks are going to be pretty pleased with the forecast, knowing that it's going to be a little bit warmer for the next couple of days.
Yeah, I think we've seen below seasonal temperatures for quite some time now. A little warm up is on the way.
Oh, really?
Let's enjoy that for now. So the winter parkas can be put away for at least the next couple of days. As we get into the weekend forecast, though, those temperatures will start to drop once again, and then we'll start to see more winter-like conditions as it's just days away. Temperatures right now, though, we're expecting to be just above that freezing mark, and then we will climb up into the afternoon. So Pembroke 1, Ottawa 1, Kingston 3, Brockville at 2. Many temperatures will climb above 5 degrees this afternoon, which means we could see a little bit of rainfall on the way. Conditions-wise, a little bit of sunshine through the morning, but we are still going to see mostly clouds covering the skies throughout Wednesday, continuing into the afternoon. As we get to Thursday, though, some sunshine will start to reappear with a chance for some precipitation, maybe some mixed precipitation as we hover right around that freezing mark. Conditions-wise, we're really going to start to see some messy conditions as we roll overnight Thursday into Friday. So a nice day spent with at least a mix of sun and cloud through the day Thursday. Then into the evening window, temperatures are expected to be between about 5 and 10 degrees as we roll into Friday. So we're going to start with some rainfall. But then as it starts to get cooler overnight as we roll through the day on Friday, we start to see a little bit of mixed precipitation in the forecast. So starting with some rainfall early on into the Ottawa region, then we see maybe some freezing rain mixed with some snowfall. So it could get messy Friday going into the start of our weekend. So if you have any traveling plans, just be aware the roads could be a little bit dangerous as we head into our first official weekend of winter. Take a look what we can wear today. 4 degrees is our daytime high value, so I said we could switch out the parka for maybe a nice warm sweater, maybe a light rain jacket as well, as we could see a little bit of flurries and some mixed precipitation over the next few hours, just making sure that we're staying nice and comfortable throughout the day today. Here's a look at our daytime high values for what we can expect. 4 in Pembroke and Ottawa, as well as Kentville, Kingston, and Trenton. 3 in Bancroft, 3 degrees in Cornwall. So above seasonal temperatures for the most part for many areas through Ottawa and beyond. We're at 4 in Petawawa, 3 in Gatineau, and 1 in Tremblant. And I know that we started to see some cooler temperatures arrive, which means the canal is in some much needed conditions to get some water on there. Just a couple of days of some above seasonal temperatures. It isn't expected to hinder it too much, but just a reminder to stay clear of the ice as of right now. 5 degrees Thursday, up to that 7 Friday, but then the overnight lows drop significantly. So we get cold overnight after a very warm day. As we head into the weekend, a big switch. We go from 7 Friday to -7 into Saturday with temperatures returning to what we typically see this time of year. We got a couple of warm days right before that weekend. Let's take a look at the roads at this hour, and nothing major to report at this time. We are just cruising beyond 6:12 a.m. on your Wednesday. Roads are looking pretty good. If anything changes this morning, we'll be sure to let you know. Let's take a look at TSN's must-see moment.
Hello there, Kara Wagland inside the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. And for it, we take you to Pittsburgh. Oilers and Penguins, we've seen this one before. Connor McDavid picking up a whole lot of speed past center ice. Blows by all 4 Pittsburgh defenders. Undresses his former teammate Stuart Skinner. I mean, just an unbelievable goal from McDavid, using that elite speed we know and love to break through and finish off in style. Add that to his already long highlight reel. It is your must-see moment from Tuesday. And coming up tonight on TSN, we have World Juniors pre-competition action. We have Canada taking on Sweden. Puck drop for that one gets underway at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. That's all for now from Sports Center. Have a great day.
Coming up on Your Morning Ottawa.
Some children won't have a Christmas dinner, and this makes sure that everybody does.
A special Christmas meal delivery to students at an Ottawa elementary school. We bring you that story just ahead. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. You're watching Your Morning Ottawa. And good morning, Ottawa. Welcome back. Here are the big stories we are following today on Your Morning Ottawa. A new report says the government could be doing much better when it comes to monitoring productivity inside the public sector. Transit users in the East End could be one step closer to riding the new LRT extension. And Canada's premiers are set to meet virtually for the first time with the Prime Minister later this week. Now let's check on the forecast.
Oh, Rosie, me and you are happy this morning because temperatures are above seasonal, something we haven't seen in quite some time. Temperatures this afternoon reaching maybe 3-4 degrees, but with jumping above that freezing mark, the chance for flurries leaves us, and the chance for some precipitation of the rain variety arrives into the afternoon. But let's enjoy the mild temperatures while it's here. Taking a look at your roads at this hour. Nothing major to report. No slowdowns or accidents at this current time as we cruise just beyond 6:15. Roads are looking pretty smooth on your Wednesday. Well, a West Ottawa school was full of Christmas spirit yesterday. Students and staff were treated to a traditional Christmas dinner thanks to a local entrepreneur. First responders and volunteers. Here's CTV's Peter Sperling.
You think you're strong enough you can carry that for me?
Police vehicles filled with festive meals.
Not usually throw in a couple of bad guys or bad girls, but today we got Christmas lunches.
There we go.
Ottawa police delivering nearly 300 Christmas dinners to students and staff at Dr. F.J. McDonald Catholic School in the Britannia Beach neighborhood.
Tastes really good.
Grade 6 student EJ enjoying the holiday feast.
Corn, turkey, and mashed potatoes.
The school celebrating Christmas early.
The people who gave us this was super kind.
Local entrepreneur Gregory Abouker serving up joy with help from family, volunteers, and donations.
When I started a few years back, it just ended up being a tradition that I carried on throughout the years. And I'm continuing to do it now because I just think it's the right thing to do. And, to see the smiles on the kids' faces, and the cheer that it brings them, I think it's all worth it.
Some children won't have a Christmas dinner, and this makes sure that everybody does.
Everyone at the school looking forward to this each year.
We have many families who are financially challenged, who have to struggle to make ends meet, and so we're happy to have things like this.
A break from the everyday for police officers, too.
We're happy to switch things up and get some FaceTime with the kids, and you know, it's Christmas time, so we're all happy.
It's not just about the food.
Hanging out with my friends and having fun. I think it's wonderful that we're here today.
Smiles, joy, the true meaning of Christmas.
Thank you and Merry Christmas!
Peter Sperling, CTV News.
Love to see those smiling faces.
I know, even for the police officers too, right? A little break in their day to go and see the community come together. And we were talking about this over the last few weeks, like with our food drive, with Twine Mountain wrapping up this week. And then you see acts of like that community at this time of year. It's so wonderful to see.
And speaking of this time of year, the holiday season, we all have different traditions in which we spend with our family. It's so much fun. We're going to be talking to you a little bit later on in the show and asking you, what's your favorite board game that you play during the holidays, right? Because it's all about getting together. That's what's so special about the holidays. So we're talking about that in a minute. But first off, we're going to talk to Bill Carroll. As federal public servants wait to hear more about the future of their jobs, we are learning hundreds of positions will be slashed from Natural Resources Canada. Now, the plan is to cut 400 positions from the department over the next 3 to 4 years. Why don't we bring in Bill Carroll from the Morning Rush on News Talk 580 CFRA and get his opinion on this. Good morning to you, Bill.
Good morning. That's a very frightening sounding headline, isn't it? 400 jobs. 400 jobs. Except it's over the next 3 years. And if you do a little bit of quick math, 4% of the number of employees in that department is about 250 people, a little less, 250 people a year. Let's round it out to make it nice and easy. 250. That's how many people leave every year anyway, on average, in the federal government. And in most business, attrition is 4%. People retire, they go find other jobs, they leave. So in 2 years, you're up around 500. The number they're trying to get to is 600 in 3 years. It's a pretty easy number to hit. This is not a big deal at all. In fact, this is the Carney government once again spinning as a really interesting story about how determined they are to cut the size of the public service, when in fact all they're doing is not replacing workers who leave. And as you mentioned, they're giving out letters saying, hey, if you want to leave even earlier, we're willing to let you do that. In fact, these numbers don't even come close to what the recent budget just said about the size of cuts by 2029. It's going to be less than that. So an alarming headline, especially here in Ottawa, where a lot of federal public workers are based. But really, in the end, it's going to be a lot of people leaving work a little early, and some who are ready to retire anyway with a little extra paycheck in their pocket. So if this is our government's commitment to reducing the size of a bloated civil service, we're not going to get anywhere very quickly at this rate. They don't seem to have the courage to do what's necessary.
It does seem like it may be a slow crawl, at least with those numbers right there representing, like you said, 400 people. That's not that substantial, especially when you consider we're talking about tens of thousands of employees in the workforce. But it does seem like they are giving them fair notice about the potential.
Certainly not how it happens in most of the private sector, where you show up for work one day and there's a little envelope with a paycheck in it that says, this is your severance. Have a nice life. That's the reality most of us in the private sector have to deal with, and we've seen around us for years. So, I'm not. Listen, I always feel bad when any person who doesn't want to lose their job loses their job.
Of course.
But I don't think we're dealing with much of that. I think we're going to be dealing with a lot of people who will be happy to take the paycheck and leave early, or we're about to retire anyway. So, before you weep into your Cheerios this morning, just a quick math on some of those numbers. It's not so scary.
Bill, have a great show and a great Wednesday.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Remember, you can listen to The Morning Rush with Bill Carroll on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m. Here's a live look from our sky cam on George Street. A frosty morning, but things are warming up above the freezing mark into the afternoon. You're watching Your Morning Ottawa. We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everybody. Today on Your Morning Ottawa, we are asking for your comments on what is your family favorite Christmas game. Let us know your thoughts. Email us at yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca. And I feel like for us, we don't really do any Christmas games. I don't know if we ever have. We just do like we do our stockings and our presents, but we don't really play any games, nor have we. Have you ever done something like that?
Yeah, we've done that. And now that we've got like little ones running around the house, niece, nephews, they're super young. And then you got the adults. Like, how do you come together? So usually it's something that the kids want to play. We'll play like Uno and then Scrabble, baby. Okay, the kids can't really they're like, yeah, it's kind of boring and dry, but we love to play Scrabble. And then what is it? The mind reader? So it's kind of like, yeah, where you've got the clue.
Yeah.
You can't see the clue, but then you show it to people, and then they, act it out, and then you've got to guess what's right on your forehead, essentially. That's kind of fun.
That's also a really fun game to play. Like, even as an adult, that's fun.
Yeah.
I feel like even now that now that you said that too, I feel like the only thing I do is my little nephew Jamie.
Okay.
We just play like whatever it is, whether it's like taking a bunch of things and like trying to throw them into a bin or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
No actual game, but something like that where like, as I'm a kid at heart too, right? So we're kids playing in the basement together or whatever it is.
For hours, probably.
Oh yeah.
You know what? Something as simple as that, kids can stay engaged for hours. Like something like, oh yeah, get that in there, right there. They just love to have goals and tasks. That's what I find. I just go, okay, let's do this. And sometimes it's really fun with really young kids. Just make up a game.
Yeah.
Just make up a game, make up the rules as you go along, and they're like, okay, let's go with this. And then they'll add in on the rules, and then you'll just have a blast. But I do love that when the whole family can come together. That's about experiences, right? That's what you remember for Christmas. You don't necessarily 5 years later remember the gift that you got 5 years ago, but you do remember, how much fun you had with the family, the meal, the warmth, the laughter. That's what it's all about.
That's what we all look forward to this time of year. So, you kind of heard a little bit from me. Rosie's got a good game plan with the games. We want to hear from you. Later in the show, we are asking, what is your favorite family Christmas game? Send us your comments at yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca. We would love to find out what you're all up to over the next couple of weeks.
Coming up on Your Morning Ottawa, we will try out this game that's gone viral online. And that would be a perfect one to try out with the family or friends this holiday. Oh, it's going to be crazy, folks. Stay tuned for that. That's coming up just after 7 o'clock. We'll be right back. I'm Rosie Edda.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm Will Aiello. Melissa is off today. We got you covered on all fronts on the weather, as well as your news stories, and Christmas just about a week away.
This is crazy. It's crazy. The countdown, it's just so fast. It's amazing when you think about it. I remember we were saying it's a month away, and then the other day was 10 days away. Now we blink, turn around, here it is. It's okay. We're going to enjoy that ride right up into Christmas.
We certainly are. We know that me and you are huge fans this time of year. Hopefully we can continue to see a little bit of snowfall. There might be some weather impacting that over the next few days, but then it gets better just as we roll up to that Christmas day.
Love it.
All right, right to our news headlines. A new report says public servant productivity should be put under the microscope. A report commissioned by the president of the Treasury Board to examine productivity inside the federal public service and help the government save billions of dollars in the coming years, although the Treasury Board says it is not considering it at this time. Unions are sharing their concerns, saying that productivity cannot be improved by measurement alone. And in the meantime, new developments on the government's plan to reduce the size of federal public service. It appears hundreds of people working at Natural Resources Canada could lose their jobs in the coming years. In a statement to CTV News Ottawa, the department confirms it has sent letters to around 700 indeterminate employees to inform them that their position will or may be impacted by future changes. It goes on to say there are plans to eliminate approximately 400 positions by the year 2028-2029. This is part of the government's plan to find $60 billion in savings.
Transit users in the East End could be one step closer to riding the new LRT extension. Work continues on the line, which runs from Blair to Trim Station. Deficiencies were discovered in the fall, and crews have since worked on track infrastructure and reinforcing concrete. But in an update yesterday, Mayor Mark Sutcliffe said testing should begin in early January, and OC Transpo says residents could be riding the train by the end of March. Canada's premiers are set to meet virtually with the Prime Minister later this week. Mark Carney will be hosting the First Minister's meeting on Thursday, and although it's set to be virtual, CTV News has confirmed that Ontario Premier Doug Ford will be there in person. There's no word yet on the focus of the meeting, but in the past, it has been to update the premiers on trade talks between Canada and the U.S. The last meeting was a month ago on November 17th.
One teenager is dead and another is facing impaired driving charges after a vehicle rolled off the road. This happened across the road from Cedar Hill Christmas Tree Farm in Pakenham just before midnight Monday. Police say no other vehicles were involved. An 18-year-old passenger did not survive. The driver and another passenger did. The 17-year-old driver is scheduled to appear in court next month.
Skate Canada says it will no longer host national and international events in Alberta because of the province's gender law. The law, which came into effect in September, blocks transgender athletes from Alberta who are 12 and older from competing in female amateur sports. Skate Canada says the law means it can no longer maintain its national standards for safe and inclusive sport. The federal government is announcing new regulations to cut methane emissions from the oil and gas sector.
These new enhanced oil and gas regulations are designed to significantly cut methane emissions by over 304 megatons from 2028 to 2040.
The Environment Minister says new landfill regulations will also cut 100 megatons of emissions by 2040. The government also announced nearly $16 million in investment for 9 methane detection and measurement projects across Canada.
Charges have now been laid against a surviving suspect in Sunday's mass shooting at Bondi Beach. This happened as Australia's New South Wales Parliament is recalled to address tougher gun laws.
On the 22nd and 23rd of December, the government will call back the New South Wales Parliament to deal with urgent legislation that we believe is required pre-Christmas to keep the community safe and ensure there's unambiguous laws in place when it comes to public safety.
One of the reforms up for debate is the proposed limit on the number of firearms a licensed person can own. We know one of the 2 shooters accused of killing 15 people had his firearms license, and he legally owned 6 guns. As for the surviving suspect, the 24-year-old was charged after waking up from a coma at a city hospital. The charges include 15 counts of murder, 40 counts of causing harm with intent to murder, along with a terror charge. Authorities say the attack was inspired by the Islamic State group. The rough start to the season has continued for the Ottawa Charge.
Behind the net, trying to center. Here's Miller with a wrist shot, and that was blocked by Moroza. Miller scores! There you go, Katie Chan!
And they fell 2-1 to Vancouver and have now lost 3 straight games. They are back in action tonight against Seattle.
Canada's WNBA team has unveiled its jersey as the players prepare to hit the court for their first season next year.
Yeah, the Toronto Tempo releasing their teaser video showing off the debut uniforms. There are 6 speed lines representing Toronto's boroughs. The 6 lines are also said to represent the 5 players on the court, with the 6th teammate being the fans.
You'll be able to rep Canada's team as of January. That's when the jerseys hit the market for all to buy. There you go.
I love when they give a little teaser about the jerseys too. It gets people excited to potentially get one.
Yes.
Although just before, I was like, maybe we should release it just before Christmas so people can get their hands on it, right?
That's true. That's true. Oh, we're just going to have to wait. I'm really excited for that new season and the new women's team here in Canada, the first WNBA team in Canada. Loving it.
So great.
Cannot complain. And I can't complain, you know, when temperatures are above seasonal. Not bad at all.
You and me me both, and we can continue to see that trend over the next couple of days. As we head into the weekend, though, those temperatures will drop once again, but we will enjoy the mild temperatures while they're here. So a little bit cloudy this morning, but temperatures this afternoon will warm up to become above seasonal with a chance for some showers. Because we're going to be on the warmer side today, the chance for flurry starts to diminish, and the chance for some rainfall will arrive into the afternoon, pretty much continuing through the evening window too. But temperatures will continue to warm up over the next couple of days. This is what we're looking at right now. So winds in Pembroke, Ottawa, just underneath that freezing mark in Montreal, Kingston at 3, Brockville 2, as well as Cornwall. So a much warmer start today than what we've seen over the last couple of days with those below seasonal temperatures. Cloudy skies to start on your Wednesday. As we roll through the afternoon, a chance for some precipitation moves into the forecast. It continues to kind of linger around for our commute home overnight. But then Thursday, we will see a mix of sun and cloud. But I want to talk about some precipitation and some messy conditions that roll through just before the weekend. As we get into overnight Thursday, we start to see some precipitation work its way through the GTA, coming into the Ottawa region. And because of the temperatures that we're seeing, especially really warm on the day side Friday, we could see some rainfall to start as we roll through Friday morning. Then as temperatures start to cool down late in the afternoon into the overnight window, we start to see the chance for some mixed precipitation, maybe a little bit of flurry activity. So any traveling plans Friday afternoon going into Saturday morning, we could see the roads become quite messy with the chance for some rainfall, freezing rain, then some snowfall. The total amount's not substantial at this point, between maybe 2 and 5 centimeters, but with the messy mix, it could just get a little bit ugly as we take a look at that commute into Friday. Your commute this morning, pretty clear, just cloudy skies, not really a chance for some precipitation till we arrive to the afternoon window. Then we do have a slight chance that certain areas could see just a little bit of rainfall in the forecast, so nothing major for our Wednesday. Daytime high values, though, well above what we've seen. 4 in Pembroke and Kentville, as well as Kingston. All nice, mild temperatures for the mid portion of our work week. 3 in Bancroft, as well as Cornwall. As you take a look at Petawawa, 4, we slice that in half in some areas. Tremblant, 1 degree. Seeing a little bit of mixed precipitation. It could impact the ski hills this weekend, but then temperatures drop once again as we get into Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So let's focus on the next couple of days. 4, 5, and then climbing up to 7 degrees on Friday for your daytime high values. So well above what we've seen over the last few days. Overnight lows, though, so colder overnight tonight. Then we get a break Thursday. Friday night, though, temperatures drop. We go from 7 to -11, then to -7 in our daytime high on Saturday. So the chance for some flurries and some mixed precipitation will continue into the weekend after we enjoy a couple of mild days, but then winter is officially here.
Weather brought to you by Manotick Place Retirement Community, a community you can call home.
And taking a look at your roads this hour, nothing major to report. A little bit of light fog out there, just affecting some visibility out on the roads, but the roads are clear. No precipitation as of yet. Within the next about 15 to 30 minutes, we'll start to see that back up, though. Westbound, we'll be sure to let you know if anything changes continuing through the morning.
Traffic brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers, 1-800-JUSTICE.
And coming up a little bit later on in our show, we're going to be speaking with CTV's Scott Hurst on an incident happening in Alberta with Skate Canada and different changes coming towards the tournament. Taking a peek outside through our Skycam, and temperatures feeling a little bit mild this morning, and that will be the continuing trend. We'll let you know what happens as we get into the weekend forecast. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back.
Here are the big stories happening today on Your Morning Ottawa. A new report says the government could be doing much better when it comes to monitoring productivity inside the public sector. Transit users in the East End could be one step closer to riding the new LRT extension, and Canada's premiers are set to meet virtually for the first time with the Prime Minister later this week. Now let's check on the forecast.
Warm, 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 and enjoy it while it's here. 4 degrees our daytime high this afternoon with a chance for some showers. Thursday, everything clears up, climbing up to 5 with a mix of sun and cloud. Not cold whatsoever overnight. But then a quick turn Friday all the way up to an above seasonal 7, but then quickly down to a cool -11. Full breakdown on the forecast coming up shortly. Taking a peek at the roads at this hour, and nothing major to report. Everything smooth sailing. Starting to see just a little bit of backup on the 417 westbound, but no collisions to report at this time. Well, Canada's governing body for figure skating says it will no longer host major events in Alberta for national and international events because of its law on transgender athletes. We check in with CTV News correspondent Scott Hurst for more on this. Good morning to you, Scott.
Good morning, Will.
Can you walk us through Skate Canada's decision and tell us more about the Alberta law that it's based its decision on?
Well, here's what we know. Skate Canada says it is no longer going to host events in Alberta. As you mentioned, Skate Canada, the governing body for figure skating in this country, saying it is drawing a line, and the province is now a no-go zone for national and international events. The decision, it says, is based on a provincial law, the Fairness and Safety in Sport Act, that prohibits transgender athletes from participating in female-only sports. Skate Canada says in a statement it is unable to host events in the province while maintaining its national standards for safe and inclusive sport. The decision, however, will not stop Alberta athletes from participating in Skate Canada programming competitions. Right now, there are no upcoming national or international events, Will, scheduled currently in the province.
And Scott, since that decision, what has the reaction been like towards that? Because I can imagine that we're seeing this come from every angle.
As you might expect, the province is pushing back. Reaction is swift from the Alberta government, both Premier Danielle Smith and the provincial sport minister reacting to the decision, both standing by the law. The Premier in a statement calling the decision by Skate Canada disgraceful and ultimately saying she's expecting Skate Canada to apologize and adjust its policy. While the Alberta Minister for Tourism and Sport said Skate Canada is denying female athletes opportunities to compete on a safe and level playing field. The Fairness and Safety in Sport Act is one of 3 Alberta laws impacting transgender people passed by the Alberta government. Proponents say the laws protect children, and the one in question is specifically about ensuring girls are not facing opponents with biological advantages. However, those speaking out against the laws say they're about stigmatizing and punishing those in the transgender community. The laws have sparked polarizing debate and legal challenges, Will, prompting the provincial government to invoke the Charter's notwithstanding clause on all 3 to shield them from legal challenges.
Yeah, no surprise there, but appreciate you giving us some details on that. Thanks, Scott.
Thanks, Will.
On today's show, we asked, what is your favorite family Christmas game? And here is what you had to say.
All right, we're starting off with Carrie, who says, our family loves Frustration Rummy. So challenging and very fun.
All right, and Sherry says, we don't usually play games at Christmas, but Trinity loves to play Uno. She has lots of different Uno cards. Our favorite is Uno Flip, and we add all the pickup cards together, so at any one time, you can have up to 20 cards. Makes for an interesting game. Rosie, this might be a good idea for you. Well, thank you so much for that. There you go.
What you can't see is I'm seeing Rosie take a little note down.
Little note.
Pamela says we love playing Hero Later Monopoly.
Okay.
There's just a different Monopoly in every category.
Yes.
Also Jenga, it's a fun time. Lots of memories made. Jenga is just a classic.
So much fun. Debbie says every year Santa would bring a board game, which my 2 older siblings, myself and my mom, would play after we devoured Mom's wonderful dinner. The game that really stands out in my memories is Masterpiece, an art auction game. We would play for so long, I would fall asleep. Santa has carried on the tradition with my kids. Now, that is the best. When you play games so long, then you just fall asleep. Like, what happened?
Yep.
Wait, okay, we're just playing and playing and playing. That's wonderful.
Some of those games that go in for a couple of days, like the Monopolies, the auction, the risks. These are multi-day events.
So true.
All right, Elaine says, I like my parents' old board game, Monopoly.
A classic. A classic. I'm with you, Elaine. That is so much fun. It takes a while. Got to be patient, strategic, but it's a lot of fun.
One of my faves.
All right, we're going to be hearing from you later on in the show. We'll keep this conversation going. We are asking, what is your favorite family Christmas game? Send us your comments at yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca. Coming up on Your Morning Ottawa, some cheaper tickets will be made available for World Cup matches in North America. Okay. After controversy over high ticket prices and reselling, we're going to tell you more about that just ahead. Here's a live look from our Skycam on George Street. You're watching Your Morning Ottawa. It is Wednesday. It's going to be mild today. We'll be right back.
All right, welcome back, everybody. It is time for your morning fix, and we are starting with Canada Post, who says kids who write to Santa with their wish list will get a response this year.
Good.
We like to hear this.
Yes.
So all letters with ho postal code that were mailed by December 8th will be delivered. Exact delivery dates can't be confirmed, but Santa will respond to each letter. Last Christmas, a strike by postal workers meant St. Nick couldn't respond. But he did read each letter.
He did.
Just couldn't let you know what it was. So this is great news for all the kids that are writing to Santa and adults that are writing to Santa to make sure we get a response.
That's very true. Exactly. But you had to have sent it in by December 8th. So there you go. Time just flies, isn't it true?
It does. If you didn't do it,
I know.
sorry. Santa's busy.
Okay, so FIFA says some $60 tickets, speaking of Christmas wish list, will be available for every game of the World Cup after a global backlash. Oh my gosh, look at that. Now, the tickets will go to the national federations whose teams are playing. Those federations will decide how to distribute those $60 tickets to loyal fans who have attended previous games at home and on the road. There was shock and anger worldwide last week on seeing FIFA's ticketing plans. There were no tickets in the lowest price category for participating teams, and the cheapest prices range from $120 to $265 for games that did not involve Canada and U.S. and Mexico. So they said, okay, we're going to lower it now to half that, to like $60 tickets. I don't know how many there will be, but at least there'll be a couple so that some, hopefully, super fan who can't quite afford a $1,000 ticket can afford that.
And I love that because they can go into the season and see like which fans who are season ticket holders which go. That's going to be a great surprise because, you support the people that have supported the team as opposed to people just coming in that can afford the crazy price ticket. Well, Canada's Victoria Mboko has been named this Women's Tennis Association's Newcomer of the Year. The 19-year-old from Toronto played her way to a top 20 ranking in 2025 after beginning the year ranked outside the top 300 players. Perhaps the highlight from her impressive 2025 play came in August when she won the National Bank Open in Montreal. She beat 4 Grand Slam single champions, including 4-time major winner Naomi Osaka. In the final, on her way to her first title on tour, which was so great to see, she also won a WTA title in Hong Kong in November, 4 consecutive ITF World Tennis 4 titles early in the year, and advanced to the 3rd round at the French Open. Mboko is the 4th Canadian to win the award, and I lost my breath talking about all those accomplishments, so clearly well-deserved.
Just 19 years old. The future is very bright for her.
It is.
Nice indeed. All right, coming up in the next hour, we tell you about a word game that has gone viral. So, we have to try it out. Okay, you got to stay tuned to see us give it a go. For the first time in years, the St. Patrick's Day Parade will be happening in 2026 here in Ottawa. We're going to chat with organizers. Food safety can often be forgotten over the holidays with so many things on our minds. So we are paging Dr. Paul to get his advice. Here's a look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. It's 6:57. You're watching Your Morning Ottawa. It's December 17th,
Two
Wednesday.
things that productivity depends on is having trust and faith in the work that everyone does.
A new report says federal government employees' productivity should be put under a microscope, but federal public sector unions say spying on workers would do more harm than good.
We got some good news for transit users. Testing is set to begin on the Eastern LRT extension early in the new year. This is all according to officials.
And a familiar face to Ottawa parents is hanging up his shoes. We meet Rob the Shoeman Krantberg. Your Morning Ottawa continues right now. morning, just after 7 o'clock. Come on in. I'm Rosie Edda.
Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Will Aiello. Melissa is off today. We got you covered, and I love that. The shoe game is strong in our studio this morning.
True. So true. I mean, this is going to be an interview we cannot forget because he's known as the shoeman here in Ottawa. So many parents know him. They go there to get their kids' shoes. And it looks like he's hanging up his shoes.
Yeah, for sure, which is obviously such a long journey. Plus we're going to be having a really fun game that me and you attempt to play. Attempt being the strong word coming up.
Get ready for that. But first, we're going to take a look at your top stories.
Yeah, a new report aimed at improving productivity in the federal public sector is getting a thumbs down from unions who say that monitoring worker performance levels isn't the answer.
Two things that productivity depends on is having trust and faith in the work that everyone does.
The report was commissioned by the president of the Treasury Board last year and finds that the government has no clear way to measure how well work gets done. One suggested way that is not in effect is through a snitch process, which would help the feds track so-called underperforming workers and then issue an annual report. But in the meantime, new developments on the government's plan to reduce the size of the federal public service, as it appears hundreds of people working at Natural Resources Canada could lose their jobs in the coming years. In a statement to CTV News Ottawa, the department confirms it has sent letters to around 700 indeterminate employees to inform them their position will or may be impacted by future changes. It goes on to say there are plans to eliminate approximately 400 positions by 2028-29. This is part of the government's plan to find $60 billion in savings.
Transit users in the East End could be one step closer to riding the new LRT extension. Work continues on the line, which runs from Blair to Trim Station. Deficiencies were discovered in the fall, and crews have since worked on track infrastructure and reinforcing concrete. But in an update yesterday, Mayor Mark Sutcliffe said testing should begin in early January, and OC Transpo says residents could be riding the train by the end of March. Canada's premiers are set to meet virtually with the Prime Minister later this week. Mark Carney will be hosting the First Minister's meeting on Thursday. And although it's said to be virtual, CTV News has confirmed that Ontario Premier Doug Ford will be there in person. There's no word yet on the focus of the meeting, but in the past, it has been to update the premiers on trade talks between Canada and the U.S. The last meeting was a month ago on November 17th.
One teenager is dead and another is facing impaired driving charges after a vehicle rolled off the road. This happened across the road from Cedar Hill Christmas Tree Farm in Pakenham just before midnight Monday. Police say no other vehicles were involved. An 18-year-old passenger did not survive. The driver and another passenger did. The 17-year-old driver is scheduled to appear in court next month.
Skate Canada says it will no longer host national and international events in Alberta because of the province's gender law. The law, which came into effect in September, blocks transgender athletes from Alberta who are 12 and older from competing in female amateur sports. Skate Canada says the law means it can no longer maintain its national standards for safe and inclusive sport.
A menorah lighting on Parliament Hill doubled as a powerful show of unity.
This is a group of Muslims and of Christians that have built a relationship over the last 2 years and recognize the importance of building bridges and in particular building people up in harder times. And this is a very difficult time for the Jewish community, and so to be amongst friends and to know that I could count on both allyship in the Christian and the Muslim community has been a source of hope.
So as you heard, there are Jewish, Christian, and Muslim leaders gathering for the festive Hanukkah event in the wake of the horrific mass shooting in Australia. Organizers say the event came together rather quickly, and the support from members of different faiths was moving. Florida's governor has dropped the gloves after these comments made by Ontario Premier Doug Ford on travel during the trade war.
It's going to be the first time I'm not going to Florida, but I talked to so many people. Don't let this guy, Trump, determine and ruin your life and everything. That's my personal choice. They're hurting down there right now. They're hurting on all fronts. They're hurting on their economy.
But Florida Governor Ron DeSantis fired back on X, saying, actually, we continue to break tourism records and, quote, win Stanley Cups.
The federal government's Buy Canadian policy is now in effect.
Canada needs to be its own best customer.
The strategy is meant to ensure Canadian products, materials, and workers are prioritized in federal procurement decisions. It applies to the government's new major projects and housing offices, defense procurement, and community infrastructure projects. The first stage of the policy requires contracts valued at $25 million or more prioritize Canadian businesses and materials. Ontario's Victoria Mboko has received a special honor. Mboko has been named Newcomer of the Year by the Professional Women's Tennis Tour. The Canadian star raised her ranking from outside the top 300 to inside the top 20 after an impressive 2025 campaign. Highlights included winning the WTA 1000 National Bank Open in August and the WTA title in Hong Kong last month. Ontario has unveiled its annual list of the most popular baby names in the province, and some familiar names continue to top the spots. Okay, so let's take a look at the most popular girl names in 2024. Topping the list for the 16th year in a row is Olivia. Oh, I have such a good friend named Olivia. Charlotte and Sophia round out the top three, followed by Amelia, Emma, Ava, Maya, Sophia with an F, and Maya and Isla. Many of those names have made the list several years in a row.
Yeah, Olivia has just taken off over the last couple of years, and I find it interesting, Rosie, because when you see the names released,
yes.
I feel like then once you see that, and maybe you don't see it, you go, okay, well, we can't use that name. Everyone's using that name, but Olivia just keeps topping the charts.
It is a beautiful name. All those names are really beautiful.
I really like them too.
Yeah.
All right, weather picture of the day. This is sent in from Steve. It is twilight time in Constance Bay. How soothing is that?
That's beautiful. Love it.
Weather picture brought to you by Box Me Up. Moving, staging, renovating, just box me up.
And a reminder, we want to hear from you. Send us your weather pictures, and you can see it right here on the show. That email is weathershots@ttv.ca, and we would love to have those pictures come in, especially this time of year. And you saw there from Steve, Constance Bay looking a little bit cool, but it looks really nice with the winter-esque kind of snowfall on the ice. Hopefully over the next couple of days, the warmer temperatures won't impact too much areas that are starting to get on the skating rinks as we start to see it cool down, but the next 3 days we'll start to see some milder temperatures take place. Today, our daytime high value is 4, normally around -3, so we are well above the mark. It will last over the next couple of days, but as we head into the weekend forecast, we have a dramatic shift. We go from 7 degrees one day to -7 the next for the daytime high. So we'll take a look at that coming up. Let's take a look at conditions that are happening right now across the region. 2 in Pembroke, -1.5. We got Ottawa at 1, just beneath the freezing mark in Montreal at -1 as well. Cloudy skies to start your Wednesday. A chance for some precipitation of the rain variety arrives this afternoon as we hover above that freezing mark here in Ottawa. A little bit cloudy, not a lot of sunshine, but it will reappear into the forecast tomorrow. And then we have some messy conditions following that. So let's take a look at the next couple of days on our radar. So as we roll from Thursday into Friday, we start to see a big swing of temperatures. It's going to be really warm during the daytime on Friday. So what starts as some rainfall early on in the morning potentially transitions to a little bit of freezing rain late into the afternoon, and then maybe some snowfall by the time we reach Friday evening due to those temperatures going from 5 to 7 degrees, and then a quick drop down to -11 Friday night. So potentially some messy conditions arriving Friday day going into the evening hours. So any traveling we have to do Friday, just be aware the roads could be a little bit iffy. 4 degrees our daytime high for our school forecast with a chance for some showers. So no need for a huge parka this afternoon, just a little bit of a raincoat, maybe a sweater underneath just to make sure we're nice and cozy through the afternoon. Daytime high values look like this: 4 in Pembroke, Ottawa, and Kentville, as well as Kingston and Trenton. A little cooler in Cornwall at 3, 1 in Tremblant, 3 in Montreal, as well as Gatineau. So temperatures for the most part are above seasonal through the day today with an ever-changing forecast, especially this time of year. Snowbound building season season will have to take a quick break as we potentially see some rainfall through this afternoon. Thursday, a mix of sun and cloud makes a glorious return, but then it is quickly shifted away. So Thursday going into Friday, we start to see a big swing. 5 to 7 degrees, but then that overnight low quickly drops to -11, and then potentially some snowfall into the weekend forecast. So the next 3 days, we're continuing to see above seasonal temperatures, and then a cold snap into the weekend as some snowfall potentially arrives.
7-day weather forecast brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business.
And as we take a look at the roads at this hour, eastbound on the 417 seeing some buildup starting at the 416 split until Maitland. Focusing westbound on the Queensway, seeing slowdowns from St. Laurent until about Parkdale. So just make sure you leave yourself a little extra time this morning.
Okay. A word game is going viral on social media, and, you know, we have to try it. I mean, come on, we got to give it a shot. Take a look.
All right. Chair, pair, bear, bear, pair, chair, bear, bear. Square, pair, square, square, chair, bear, square.
Wow. Okay, so all you have to do is say the name of whatever images pop up in the correct order on the beat of the music. I mean, can't be that hard, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you say we try it out, Will?
I think we try it out, and I think that Rosie, being the champion of all things, we'll let you go first.
Oh, thanks a lot. No pressure. No pressure setting it up like that. So there are different categories, so you choose one, and I don't know. You think that there's a strategy here, but I let's just go with numbers, okay? I'm just going to go with numbers.
Nice. I like it.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, here we go. Here we go.
8, 7, 8, 8. Am I supposed to go right now? Oh my God! I thought. Okay, sorry, I missed it. 7, 6, 2, 2, 8, 8, 8, 7, 2. 7, 6, 6, 7, 2, 7, 8, 7. 2, 8, 1, 6, 7, 7, 8, 2. But I messed up. I'm so sorry. I thought that they were gonna have a sample, and I was. Woo! Yay me! I missed 3. Did I miss 3 rounds?
I think you might have missed 3 rounds.
I'm so sorry for all that, folks. I was trying to get myself ready for it. Will, you've got the floor.
Oh man!
Which one do you want?
Well, you went numbers.
I went numbers.
I'll make it simple. I'll go colors.
Okay, go colors.
We'll keep
go colors.
Because I feel like that's.
Come on,
a
Will.
good chance.
Come on.
All right, here we go.
Let's do it.
Purple, brown, purple. Purple, brown, yellow, purple, brown.
Woo!
Yellow, orange, brown, purple, orange, brown, yellow.
Come on, Will, you got this.
Orange, purple, yellow, brown, orange, yellow, orange. Purple, green, orange, purple, yellow, orange, brown.
You killed it. Amazing.
Right,
He did all rounds, too.
It looks.
Oh, my gosh. Okay.
All right.
Okay, one more?
Yeah, Rosie, let's have some redemption
here. Do we do it all together? I'll do the first 2. I'll do the first 2, and then you do.
Okay, that sounds fair.
Do we want to do it all together? Let's do it all together. Come on, we got this.
Here we go.
Buttered bubble.
What?
Yeah. Bird, bubble, bird, butter, bird. No. Bubble, butter, bird. Bird, butter, bird, bubble, bird, butter. Oh, bath or bubble?
I don't know.
Bird, baby, butter, baby, bird, butter, baby. Okay, here we go. Bird, bath, bread, baby, butter. We killed it. Yes, we did.
The thing was we couldn't decide if it was a bath or bubble.
I wasn't sure if it was bubble or bath, and you were saying bath, and I was saying bubble, and then it was like, okay, that is a great Christmas game.
And all
we
the
need to do
different
that.
categories that you can do too, right? That's fun for everyone.
That was so much fun. All right. Coming up on Your Morning Ottawa.
All right, here's what we got. A familiar face to Ottawa. His parents is hanging up his shoes. We meet Rob the Shoeman, who runs the Kitty Cobbler store on St. Laurent Boulevard. That is coming up, standing by in the CTV Your Morning Ottawa Lazy Boy Lounge. And looking cozy as ever.
Oh,
shoes, sweater, fire, Lazy Boy, blue shirt.
Christmas tree, chair, table, fire. Oh, well.
And on that note, here's our Centennial Skycam. Clearly, Rosie and I need a bit of a break, but don't worry. We'll recoup, we'll regroup, and we'll be back right after this.
The most important part of any journey is to arrive safely. Hi, I'm Patricia Bowl.
And I'm Stefan Keys from CTV. Distracted or impaired driving can have devastating consequences.
Hey, it's Ashley.
And Gord from Ottawa's Pure Country 94.
Always plan for a designated driver, and please keep your phone down.
Everyone can help keep communities safe.
Drive safe. Brought to you by the Ottawa Safety Council. For more information on road safety programs and services, visit ottawasafetycouncil.ca.
Frontline Credit Union and the Ottawa firefighters are so proud to support the Toy Mountain this year.
New unwrapped toys can be dropped off at any Ottawa Fire Services station or Frontline Credit Union locations.
Frontline Credit Union, Ottawa firefighters, and Toy Mountain helping families this holiday season.
Welcome back to CTV Your Morning Ottawa. So after a few years marred by the pandemic and some issues with permits and volunteers, it looks like 2026 will see the return of the St. Patrick's Day Parade. We're so excited for this. So we have to talk to Tom O'Neill about the resurgence of the parade. And Tom is the president of the Irish Society of the National Capital. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Rosie.
Good morning. So when did the talks resume again, to get this parade back up?
We never stopped after 2025. We worked with the city, we worked with the Ottawa Police Department. We had to find a route that was more suitable for our needs and historical residents. So now we've got a route, which is the Supreme Court Justice building on Wellington Street that proceeds all the way down to Sussex. It crosses the Houses of Parliament, crosses over the Rideau Canal that the Irish built, Houses of Parliament the Irish built, and then finally ends up in the Byward Market. And that's a model we worked with in discussions with the City of Quebec. That's how they model it. They actually do there it is on the wall. They actually do the same thing. They don't put on a party. They end up in the Citadel, and everybody breaks out to their own little areas and groups. And that's our day for March 7th at 12 o'clock. It also mimics the pathway for the LRT, so people can easily get to and from the event without having to use buses or cars.
Okay.
So it's a green trial. It's also 1.7 miles. We call it a green mile. And we may actually put a run in before us.
Oh,
so
you might
it'll be
doing
a green jiggle.
They're a green jiggle. Now listen, these parades don't come cheap, right? You know,
the budget is $65,000.
$65,000. Are you going to be raising funds?
We've
for that?
already started raising funds. I'm glad to say I've got Lisa MacLeod, the former MPP, as our chair of fundraising and helping us. We've got Jeff Kavanaugh from Kavanaugh Construction's Grand Marshal. So they're coming on board. We're getting there piece by piece. It's brick by brick, dollar by dollar. We have a website. You can go to the website. You can donate as a corporate sponsor, become a member of the Irish Society. Everybody's Irish on St. Patrick's Day, regardless where you're from and where you come from.
Absolutely. You also mentioned along the route there, you mentioned the Irish contribution to the building of this city.
Well, this city is going to celebrate the bicentennial of Ottawa in 2026. It also is the beginning of the Rideau Canal's construction. It starts at 2026 and finishes in 2032. 7,000 men and women started that construction, 1,000 passed away. And we're here to celebrate the success of that. We built it, we dug a ditch and built a nation.
Really, quite amazing. What about volunteers? Because I remember those years ago when you had to cancel, there was a problem. There was a number of volunteers.
All are welcome.
You needed
All are welcome. We never turn away anybody.
Good.
Money, people.
Yes, exactly.
Ideas.
Okay.
Fun.
And you're raising funds right now. How can folks get involved or follow along or even contribute?
Irish Society, NCR.com is our website. Go to the website. Emails are there. You can buy a membership. You can be a corporate sponsorship. And the parade routes as well as the parade schedule and fees are there for you as well.
So all the developments will happen. You can see it online. We're very excited about that. You must be very excited.
I'm
to
happy.
See it
It's
coming back.
been a struggle to get here. We've got the Irish Village signs in the Byward Market this year. That's to recognize the contribution, and we're continuing to work on that.
Okay, Tom O'Neill, all the best for 2026. We're looking forward to the return of the St. Patrick's Day Parade
We'll
here.
share a pint together when we do that.
I love that. And it won't be green, too, because y'all don't, you don't do
drink green. We don't do green. Maybe
we'll
a Guinness.
We'll do a Guinness.
Well, we'll actually have a Guinness toast on March the 6th,
Okay.
the Friday,
Okay.
over the Rideau Canal, non-alcoholic,
Oh, I like that. It's a very good one,
because it's a toast to our ancestors.
Oh,
part
that's
of
wonderful.
Part of the festival.
Tom O'Neill, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Will, over to you.
Rosie, you gotta watch out for those green beers. They can be dangerous. Well, an Ottawa area staple, Kitty Cobbler, is closing its doors in the new year, and Rob the Shoeman, the personality and the heart behind the success of the store, is retiring after an incredible 44 years. He joins us this morning for a walk down memory lane. It is such a pleasure to have you in studio. Good morning to you.
Thanks very much. Thanks for having me once again.
It's so great. 44 years. I can't even imagine all of the memories, all the experiences you've had. So I'll let you decide. Just walk me through what it's been like over those over 4 decades.
I have to say, I mean, the first statement that many people have heard me say is, the babies I fit for baby shoes are bringing me their babies to fit for baby shoes.
Oh, my.
Seeing the smiles on the children's faces, knowing that proper fitted footwear has actually helped children with their walking, with their gait. To me, this is incredibly rewarding. And I can't forget about my staff. I mean, without the incredible staff that I've had over the last 4+ decades, I wouldn't have the success that I do have.
And it's so amazing, you know, 44 years, you think about all the things that you've been through, the wonderful staff, the memories. Are there some particular highlight moments in there that you have? I know it's probably so hard to choose from, so I'll let you go for a range of up to 3, just some highlight moments over the years.
Just, again, seeing people come in with complicated fittings, leg braces, difficult with children having balance and stability issues, seeing a child that having a parent allow me to choose a specific shoe for their child, having the confidence in me to choose that footwear, and then seeing that child being able to stand and walk possibly for the first time, it doesn't get better than that for me. I mean, this is really the reason I get up in the morning and I'm able to work every single day of the week.
And I can hear it in your voice, you know, and you're just speaking about the kids or them coming with their babies, generational shoe development amongst families. It must have been a really difficult decision for you to go down this road. Has that been the course?
It is a little difficult. I mean, this is all I know and this is all I love and this is what I do. And I've been doing it successfully for so many decades. So yeah, it's a little bit difficult to say goodbye. I think about the families I fit regularly, and I'm pretty emotional about it.
As you should be. I mean, you've got such a wonderful selection. I mean, we're in the store right now. We're looking at all these shoes, and you've brought some with you today. And a big factor of why you said you've had so much success is because you've designed these yourself. So they're a personal touch for people that come and see you.
You know what? In business, you know, to be successful, stores promote best selection, best service, best price. There has to be something extra above that because every store says that. So we add the experience of fun. The parents come in, it's a stress-free environment. The children get to have fun, run around the store. They get to play with the free toys. They get to go to the coloring table, the gumball machine, the speedboat in the back. When it's all said and done, they get a toy out of Rob the Shoeman's toy chest. and then it's also bringing in certain products. I find that most stores just bring in the top 6, 7 suppliers with all the most popular products, stuff that you can source just about anywhere. I've gone as far as going into Europe, bringing out product lines that are incredibly high quality that people are driven to my store for. And when that wasn't enough, yes, I went to Portugal and I designed this collection of shoes myself.
And before we let you go, is there anything you would like to say? I don't want to put you too much on the spot and make you too emotional, but something you'd like to say to Ottawa, to the customers, and to the people after so much success?
Absolutely do. I just want to thank all the families that have come to my store over the last 40+ years, the tens of thousands of children who have got shoes. I hope you'll come back and visit one more time. Yes, the store will have some great specials starting, but come back, visit one more time. Tell me some of the memories you have, and don't forget to hug Rob the Shoeman.
Rob, congratulations, my friend.
Thanks
so amazing. Kitty Cobbler, just creating so many memories for generations to come. Appreciate your time this morning.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, coming up a little bit later on in the show, we are paging Dr. Paul. We're going to talk about holiday food safety ahead of your gatherings. Fast approaching. That's coming up right after the break.
morning. I'm Rosie Edda.
7:30 on your Wednesday. I'm Will Yellow. Melissa is off today. We got you covered. And we just were speaking with Kitty Cobbler. Over 4 decades in our local community creating shoes. And I think, so Rob, the owner, was just speaking about the generation of you would come and then their kids would come.
That's amazing.
And it's just, that's what I love about our community. I love about the show, highlighting just some amazing successes.
It was a great interview, and it's lovely to see that he could leave that kind of legacy and have that kind of memories too. So that was wonderful, and hats off to him. And right now, we're going to take a look at your top stories.
We certainly are. A new report says public servant productivity should be put under the microscope. The report was commissioned by the president of the Treasury Board to examine productivity inside the federal public service and help the government save billions of dollars in the coming years. Although the Treasury Board says it is not considering it at this time.
I'm disappointed and disagree with dropping the idea of trying to get better measurement. I think the big productivity gains in government are going to be the internal services that move people and information and resources around. They have to operate at a higher, faster pace.
Unions are sharing their concerns, saying that productivity cannot be improved by measurement alone. But in the meantime, new developments on the government's plan to reduce the size of the federal public service. It appears hundreds of people working at Natural Resources Canada could lose their jobs in the coming years. In a statement to CTV News Ottawa, the department confirms it has been sent letters to around 700 indeterminate employees to inform them their position will or may be impacted by future changes. It goes on to say there are plans to eliminate approximately 400 positions by 2028-29. This is part of the government's plan to find $60 billion in savings.
Transit users in the East End could be one step closer to riding the new LRT extension. Work continues on the line, which runs from Blair to Trim Station. Deficiencies were discovered in the fall, and crews have since worked on track infrastructure and reinforcing concrete. In an update yesterday, Mayor Mark Sutcliffe said testing should begin in early January, and OC Transpo says residents could be riding the train by end of March. Canada's premiers are set to meet virtually with the Prime Minister later today. Mark Carney will be hosting the First Minister's meeting on Thursday, and although it's said to be virtual, CTV News has confirmed that Ontario Premier Doug Ford will be there in person. There's no word yet on the focus of the meeting, but in the past, it has been to update the premiers on trade talks between Canada and the U.S. The last meeting was a month ago on November 17th.
One teenager is dead and another is facing impaired driving charges after a vehicle rolled off the road. This happened across the road from Cedar Hill Christmas Tree Farm in Pakenham just before midnight Monday. Police say no other vehicles were involved. An 18-year-old passenger did not survive. The driver and another passenger did. The 17-year-old driver is scheduled to appear in court next month.
Skate Canada says it will no longer host national and international events in Alberta because of the province's gender law. The law, which came into effect in September, blocks transgender athletes from Alberta who are 12 and older from competing in female amateur sports. Skate Canada says the law means it can no longer maintain its national standards for safe and inclusive sport. The federal government is announcing new regulations to cut methane emissions from the oil and gas sector.
These new enhanced oil and gas regulations are designed to significantly cut methane emissions by over 304 megatons from 2028 to 2040.
The Environment Minister says new landfill regulations will also cut 100 megatons of emissions by 2040. The government also announced nearly $16 million in investment for 9 methane detection and measurement projects across Canada.
Charges have now been laid against the surviving suspect in Sunday's mass shooting at Bondi Beach. This happening as Australia's New South Wales Parliament is recalled to address tougher gun laws.
On the 22nd and 23rd of December, the government will call back the New South Wales Parliament to deal with urgent legislation that we believe is required pre-Christmas to keep the community safe and ensure there's unambiguous laws in place when it comes to public safety.
One of the reforms up for debate is the proposed limit on the number of firearms a licensed person can own. We know one of the two shooters accused of killing 15 people had his firearms license, and he legally owned 6 guns. As for the surviving suspect, the 24-year-old was charged after waking up from a coma at a Sydney hospital. The charges include 15 counts of murder, 40 counts of causing harm with intent to murder, along with a terror charge. Authorities say the attack was inspired by the Islamic State group. The rough start to the season has continued for the Ottawa Charge.
Behind the net, trying to center. Here's Miller with a wrist shot, and that was blocked by Moroza. Miller scores!
And unfortunately, they fell 2-1 to Vancouver and have now lost 3 straight games. They are back in action tonight against Seattle, hoping to break that streak.
Okay, so earlier we let you know about the most popular girl names this morning. So now let's take a look at the most popular boy names in 2024. Noah was the most popular name for the 6th consecutive year. Liam was second, followed by Theodore. Oliver, Jack, Henry, Benjamin, Lucas, Mohammed, and Leo were also in the top 10, Will.
Noah takes the #1 spot in 2024-2025. And Liam, one of my closest friends, they named their boy Liam, and I said, you couldn't just add Will in front of that, then we got the whole name.
There you go. Oh, there you go.
Just a little short form there, but it's always fun to see what names gain popularity and then one stick on.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's always fun to take a look at the forecast and take a look ahead. Like, what's it going to look like today, tomorrow, so on and so forth.
Very different from what we saw over the last couple of days. Temperatures are much warmer today than we've seen, especially over the last few weeks, below seasonal temperatures. It's been great, though, for the ski hills and making sure that canal is getting ready as soon as possible. Still not ready quite yet, but hopefully with some cooler temperatures reappearing into the weekend forecast after this mild stretch, it could be good news. So cloudy with a chance for some showers this afternoon, and then mild, especially over the next couple of days. This is what we're looking at right now. We got 2 in Pembroke, double that. We got Trenton at 4, 1 in Ottawa, just beneath that freezing mark in Montreal at -1. But temperatures will be warming up this afternoon, and that's the continuing trend over the next couple of days. To start on our Wednesday, cloudy skies, maybe a chance for some precipitation, not flurries, but seeing some rainfall maybe continuing this afternoon into the evening window as those temperatures hover above the freezing mark. Not a lot of sunshine through the day today, but we could potentially see a lot tomorrow. Let's take a look at tomorrow. So nice and clear with a mix of sun and cloud. As we roll into the evening hours and stretch really early into Friday, we start to see some messy conditions arrive. So what starts as rainfall here in Ottawa could transition to a little bit of freezing rain and then some snowfall. We are expecting daytime high values to be around 7 degrees on the day Friday and then drop all the way down to -11 Friday night. So that's why we have the chance for some messy conditions. As we roll on and temperatures start to get cooler, we start to see that shift from rain into freezing rain into snowfall. So any traveling we have during the day on Friday, maybe going into Saturday morning, could definitely be impacted. So just something to keep in mind if we have any traveling to do Friday into the start of the weekend forecast. This afternoon, though, we don't need to bundle up too heavily. 2 degrees and then 3 with a chance for some showers. And as we get to the afternoon, temperatures start to get a little bit cooler, but just a chance for some rainfall this afternoon, but not a lot by any means. Temperature-wise, look at this. We got 4, 5. Overnight low is going to be 4 degrees, so not cool whatsoever Thursday. And then a big shift. Friday, 7 degrees. We're going to drop down to a overnight low of -11 into Friday night. So 7 degrees, -11, and then -7 on Saturday. So a massive swing going from Friday into Saturday, and that's why we see that switch from rainfall to snow. So some mild temperatures over the next couple of days before winter officially arrives and some snowfall enters the system. On your roads this hour, nothing major to report, but of course, as we cruise beyond 7:30, we're starting to see some slowdowns on the 417. Road conditions in good shape. Just from about the next hour or so, we'll start to see a little bit of traffic east and westbound, so leave yourself a little bit of extra time.
Traffic brought to you by Presler Injury Lawyers. 1-800-JUSTICE.
With the busy holiday season upon us, we are paging Dr. Paul to get his advice on holiday food safety this morning. Good morning to you, Dr. Paul. Good morning. Okay, so I'm thinking the holidays, and of course, I think about food right away. That's top on my list.
Exactly.
I mean, gifts, that's a distant second, but it's all about the food.
So the food,
Now, but you're talking about, you got to watch out, right? Because there could be some issues there.
Oh, yes.
Some safety issues.
Some safety issues.
dangers in terms of, bacterial contamination
Okay.
and, quote unquote, food poisoning. What food poisoning is that you're eating food that's contaminated by a bacteria that can cause, gastrointestinal symptoms. So the first thing that I worry about really is the turkey. Right? Because the poultry, uncooked poultry has salmonella and bad bacteria that can cause very severe infection. And so here, we're looking at a picture of the turkey here. So a lot of people ask me, okay, what do I do with a frozen turkey?
Yes.
How do I thaw the frozen turkey?
That's right,
Okay?
safely, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
So the trick is that you get a frozen turkey, you need to thaw it out in the fridge, not on the counter. Okay? And it takes a long time. So people ask me, how long? How long?
How long? Yeah.
5 pound?
Okay.
24 hours.
Okay.
So you got a 10-pound turkey.
say
It's 2 days.
2 days.
2 days, but in the fridge.
In the fridge.
Yeah, not outside. That's really important.
Okay. And then what about this? Using insulated carriers? What's that all about?
Well, the carriers, people say, okay, it'll keep my food
cold or warm. Right.
So it has to be certain temperatures. So I don't play any tricks. I don't like to use that. Put it in the fridge and that's it. And then the other thing too is when you're preparing the food, and this is a common thing that people do, they prepare it on the counter and they forget to wash their hands, and then they start making salad, or they use the same counter. So you've contaminated it, right? The other thing too is that leftovers, because there's,
I love
there's
leftovers.
buffet. Well, it's great. First of all, you have a buffet, right?
Yes.
And so you go from one end to the other, and you're using the same fork or knife, right? So what I recommend is have a hand sanitizer at the buffet table. Sanitize your hands before you take into the plate, take the forks or whatever the spoon is. And then at the end, sanitize your hands again. Then the leftovers are great, but 2 things. They should not be out for more than 2 hours. If they're out, let's say you have a buffet here. 2 hours or more, you have to throw it out. It's contaminated.
Okay.
But if it's less than 2 hours, you could put it in the fridge.
Okay.
And it'll last 3 to 4 days. Beyond that, unfortunately, it'll spoil.
Okay.
So that's a lot. These are the things that a lot of people, we see it all the time. We get a lot of people coming into the hospital thinking it's a gastro.
Yes.
Because it presents, food poisoning can present like a gastro. And in many cases, it goes undiagnosed. We presume it's a gastro, but it's food poisoning.
It's actually food poisoning.
And we see an increase during the holiday seasons. Because what happens is a lot of people forget about, the food's out there for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, you're just grazing.
Exactly. So that's why, I wanted to talk about it today, particularly in regards to, no more than 2 hours. And then you put it in the fridge. And then the fridge lasts 3 to 4 hours.
Okay.
That's really important.
In the fridge, it'll last 3 to 4 days?
Yeah, sorry. 3 to 4, sorry about that.
Days. No,
3 to 4 days.
Yes, okay.
Now, if you're going to freeze it, that's fine. Okay. But then once you reheat it, you got to eat it right away. Don't refreeze it again.
Don't freeze it again. Okay, and quickly, we have to go here.
Sure.
Dogs, turkey bones.
Very important. 2 things about turkey bones. Number 1, don't give the turkey bones to your dogs, obviously. And number 2, if you have a carcass left over and you want to put it in the fridge, get rid of the bones before you just put the meat in the fridge. Get rid of the bones.
I think that's great. Thank you so much for coming on, giving us these really important tips here on food, because we just go crazy.
Well, that's
Christmas
why
time is
we wanted to talk about it today.
Food, but let's follow those rules.
Have fun, enjoy the great food.
Yeah. Happy holidays to you, Dr. Paul. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you. All right, we've got to send it on over to Will. It's time, it's time for another live local shopping spree. We're going to check out local vendors for some last-minute shopping ideas. Our guests are standing by in the CTV Your Morning Ottawa Lazy Boy Lounge. I'm so looking forward to this. I get to go shopping after the break. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. You're watching Your Morning Ottawa. We'll be right back. So excited. It is now time for another live local shopping spree. This is when we check out local vendors for some last-minute shopping ideas. And here to join us is Justina Borowska from Vital Touch of Europe. Good morning.
Good morning.
So great to have you back. Your store is so colorful, so vibrant, and you feel like you're walking into a quaint European shop. Welcome.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.
It's great to have you on. So what do you have for us today?
I know festive season is just around the corner. Kone, so I decided to bring some festivality over here to just try some, you know, different European items. We have a special edition of German Haribo. Amazing. You can find them on our shelves. We have a marzipan, we have a gingerbread, we have some amazing Polish treats, plum in the dark chocolate, and the marshmallows.
What's this here? This is from Poland?
This is magic, yes.
Really?
Cover chocolate marshmallows, all different flavors. So yes, you can find 5 or 6 different ones.
Oh,
so
I love that. And they're
marzipan stollen is very popular in Germany. You share this for like a Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. You have a Mozartkugel, Austrian chocolate.
It's beautiful, so colorful, like I said again.
Yes, it's perfect for like a Christmas presents, gifts for your friends, family. And this is good because you can share. So I'm not sure if you like to share sweets. So yeah.
I do have a sweet tooth, but you know, it's a holiday season, so I'll share a little bit.
Exactly. And this is where magic happens. So we have a schnitzel with some shukrut, sauerkraut with the smoked meat. We have our classic cabbage rolls, pierogis. Pierogis. Christmas is all about the pierogis.
Really?
So you can buy a frozen one, you can buy a cooked one.
Where in Europe will you got to have pierogis at Christmas? Where?
Poland, Ukraine, Germany, Canada, right? Everyone loves it. Like, let's bring the spirit.
That's so great.
We have amazing Polish sausages, salo, smoked bacon, ham, and the best, caviar. This is apparently gives you a luck for next year, New Year's Eve. So yes, you can.
I love it. We can swing by your shop. Justina, you are in the Byward Market.
Byward Market and Westboro. So literally around the corner. And we have a new website, so you can find our catering menu. You can order via our DM or emails. Good. And yes,
and I'm
ready.
saying it right? Vedel Touch of Europe?
Vedel Touch of Europe.
Vedel. See, the W is there, and I didn't go Vedel. Okay,
yes,
Vedel Touch of Europe. Thank you so much, Justina. I have to do a little bit more shopping, okay?
Perfect.
So
there.
This is beautiful.
Thank you.
All right here. Okay, so we've got Andrew McDonald, and we've got Shannon Blue Nanny Bush. Good morning to you both.
Good morning.
What do you have here?
So, I'm one of the owners of the First Responder Mobile Bar. And we're showcasing 3 distilleries in Ottawa today.
Really?
So we have SFR with their chili liqueur. We have Dunrobin with their lovely spiced rum, and then Vodka with their chocolate orange.
Oh, Vodka. Yeah, exactly. Chocolate orange.
It's delicious.
Come on. Are you going to, like, whip us up something here?
Yeah, we're going to get started. We have 3 cocktails for you today.
Okay.
I'm going to walk you through the first one.
Okay.
So I'm just going to grab a mug here.
This is so much fun watching this creation happen. Okay,
it's
here
great.
we go.
So first off, we're going to use our SFR chili liqueur.
Okay.
So this cocktail is called...
Liqueur.
Yeah.
So there's spice involved there,
yeah,
right?
We're starting the day off spicy.
The actual cocktail name is called a Coco Caliente because it uses hot chocolate, which is over here, Caliente. So all of these cocktails are available at our at the Ottawa Christmas Market for the First Responder Mobile Van is there. We do custom cocktails and cater events.
Fantastic.
We're also at the Miller's Holiday Market as well for the next 2 weekends.
Okay, so First Responder, if folks go, you know what, this will be great this holiday. How can they get in touch with you and find out what services you offer?
Quite easily. We're all over the internet, thanks to Clara. We're on Instagram. You can check out our website.
What's it like creating these wonderful, wonderful blends here? Because I know you just, I'm assuming, are you in bed going, oh yeah, that would be really nice. How does it come together? Like, this is beautiful.
Well, Shannon Blue is an award-winning cocktail creator. We're lucky to have her. So she works with us with a lot of events and helps guide us in the right direction as far as cocktails are concerned.
That is incredible. Are you going to make one? Do we have, we don't have time, but can you, it's about time. Why don't, while I'm talking, why don't we whip up something else, right?
I'll whip up, this is called Off Your Noggin.
Off Your Noggin. Okay, Mike.
You can choose whatever alcohol you like to put in it. We're choosing the spiced rum from Dunrobin. It's delicious. So we'll do an ounce and a half of that. Put that right in.
Look at that.
And then,
It's
of course,
so
you have your
beautiful.
next.
The coloring is gorgeous.
Oh, it's great.
It's a lot of great aromatics too. A lot of those like holiday spices that I really love. A lot of nutmeg.
It makes me
A lot of
happy.
cinnamon.
Did it with some whipped
It makes me
cream.
so happy.
Maybe a cranberry cherry on
Come
top.
on. Thirst responder. You guys are bringing it. I love it. Thank you so much. Andrew and Shannon Blue, and we have Justina here from Vedel, Touch of Europe. You all are amazing. This is some great last-minute shopping ideas, shopping local. Thank you, each and every one of you, for coming by.
Thanks
Let me
for
just
having
get
us.
another
Thank you.
whiff again. Ooh, this is so much. We're going to go to break right now. Oh, my gosh.
That
Even
belongs to you
just,
now.
yeah. Thank you. It's
You're
mine now. You're watching Your Morning Ottawa. We'll be right back after this short break.
Here's your milestone celebrations for this Wednesday, December 17th. We are kicking it off with number 1. Happy 6th birthday to Sophia. Love from Nana, Papa, your cousins, aunts, uncles, mom, and dad, as well as Marvin, Marshall, and Marley. Happy birthday, Sophia. We got Riley, who is turning double digits today. Happy 10th birthday. Love Daddy, Blakely, Carlos, Grandma, and Grandpa. Teen alert! Happy 13th birthday to Annabelle! Lots of love from your whole family and, of course, all of your many friends. Happy birthday from all of us here at CTV Your Morning Ottawa. You got a milestone, celebrate it with us, and you can be featured here on the show. Birthday announcements, kids 13 and under or 100 or more, and wedding anniversary celebrating 50 years or more. You just got to email us, Your Morning Ottawa milestones at ctv.ca. It's right there on the board for you, and we will make sure to get that on air to celebrate. Taking a peek outside through our sky cam, a mild day, not a lot of sunshine, but temperatures above seasonal. Something we haven't seen a lot over the last couple of weeks. We will be right back.
Morning. Come on in. I'm Rosie Edda.
Happy Wednesday, everyone. I'm Willa Yellow. Melissa is off today. We'll have your weather coming up. I want to talk about how great it is having these live local shopping sprees. Like, you did such a good job with them, and they're so much fun. They're so happy to be here. Was there anything you're keeping your eye on?
Oh, yeah. Lots of things, like some sweets from Vedel, a Touch of Europe, and a little drinky poo there as well.
It's what a combination, right?
Yeah, exactly. I'm looking forward to that. Also, we're going to take a look at the forecast, and as you said, we got your top stories coming up.
We certainly do. So a new report aimed at improving productivity in the federal public sector is getting a thumbs down from unions who say that monitoring worker performance levels isn't the answer.
Two things that productivity depends on is having trust and faith in the work that everyone does.
The report was commissioned by the president of the Treasury Board last year and finds that the government has no clear way to measure how well work gets done. One suggested way that is not in effect is through a snitch process, which would help the feds track so-called underperforming workers and then issue an annual report. But in the meantime, new developments on the government's plan to reduce the size of the federal public service, as it appears hundreds of people working at National Resources Canada could lose their job in the coming years. In a statement to CTV News Ottawa, the department confirms it has sent letters to around 700 indeterminate employees to inform them their position will or may be impacted by future changes. It goes on to say there are plans to eliminate approximately 400 positions by 2028-29. This is part of the government's plan to find $60 billion in savings.
Transit users in the East End could be one step closer to riding the new LRT extension. Work continues on the line, which runs from Blair to Trim Station. Deficiencies were discovered in the fall, and crews have since worked on track infrastructure and reinforcing concrete. In an update yesterday, Mayor Mark Sutcliffe said testing should begin in early January, and OC Transpo says residents could be riding the train by the end of March. Canada's premiers are set to meet virtually with the Prime Minister later this week. Mark Carney will be hosting the First Minister's meeting on Thursday. And although it's said to be virtual, CTV News has confirmed that Ontario Premier Doug Ford will be there in person. There's no word yet on the focus of the meeting, but in the past, it has been to update the premiers on trade talks between Canada and the U.S. The last meeting was a month ago on November 17th.
One teenager is dead and another is facing impaired driving charges after a vehicle rolled off the road. This happened across the road from Cedar Hill Christmas Tree Farm in Pakenham just before midnight on Monday. Police say no other vehicles were involved. An 18-year-old passenger did not survive. The driver and another passenger did. The 17-year-old driver is scheduled to appear in court next month.
Skate Canada says it will no longer host national and international events in Alberta because of the province's gender law.
This is what organizations have warned about, and really this is an incredible hit to Alberta's economy. Tourism and sport is really important in Alberta.
Alberta's law blocks transgender athletes ages 12 and up from competing in amateur sports. Skate Canada will only stop holding national and international events in Alberta. Figure skaters from the province can still compete in Skate Canada events. Alberta Premier Danielle Smith is calling the decision disgraceful. A warning about U.S. travel. New data shows more Canadians are being caught up in the immigration crackdown.
From what I've seen, we're looking at very minor criminal infractions, but sufficient to attract the radar of U.S. enforcement.
According to numbers released by U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, known as ICE, more than 200 Canadians have spent time in custody at some point since January. That's compared to 137 people in 2024. At least 6 of those detained were children. Experts say in the past, Canadians would have been denied entry into the United States or sent back to Canada rather than being detained.
A menorah lighting on Parliament Hill doubled as a powerful show of unity.
This is a group of Muslims and of Christians that have built a relationship over the last 2 years and recognize the importance of building bridges and in particular building people up in harder times. And this is a very difficult time for the Jewish community, and so to be amongst friends and to know that I could count on both allyship in the Christian and the Muslim community has been a source of hope.
Jewish, Christian, and Muslim leaders gathering for the festive Hanukkah event in the wake of the horrific mass shooting in Australia. Organizers say the event came together rather quickly, and the support from members of different faiths was moving.
The federal government's Buy Canadian policy is now in effect.
Canada needs to be its own best customer.
The strategy is meant to ensure Canadian products, materials, and workers are prioritized in federal procurement decisions. It applies to the government's new major projects in housing offices, defense procurement, and community infrastructure projects. The first stage of the policy requires contracts valued at $25 million or more prioritize Canadian businesses and materials. Ontario's Victoria Mboko has received a special honor.
Mboko has been named Newcomer of the Year by the Professional Women's Tennis Tour. The Canadian star raised her ranking from outside the top 300 to inside the top 20 after a very impressive 2025 campaign.
Highlights included winning the WTA 1000 National Bank Open in August and a WTA title in Hong Kong last month.
So well-deserved, Rosie.
Can you imagine going from 300, outside a group of 300, to inside the top 20?
And especially at that level too, right? Because like, you know, as an athlete, to get to, let's say, like the top outside 300, like there's a certain path, but then that path from 300 to 2 to 1 to 50 to inside 20, that's where the real magic is made.
It's really something. Can't wait to see what she does in the new year. I mean, 19 years old, right? The best is yet to come.
I know, it's so amazing. Our young athlete's doing so much. She might be hoving off from a little bit of tennis outside if she was to visit the capital this morning, but she would be, I think, happy and pleased to know that temperatures are above what we've seen over the last couple of weeks, and that will be the continuing trend over the next couple of days before winter officially finally arrives in just a matter of a few days. 2 degrees currently, so temperatures much warmer than we've seen, especially at this time. Wind relatively calm. It is expected to pick up this afternoon between 40 and 50 kilometers an hour. Here's a look at what's happening right now. We got 2 in Pembroke, 1 in Ottawa, a little warmer in Kingston. Trenton taking the warmest temperature at 4. Mostly clouds covering the skies on your Wednesday morning. Temperatures, though, will be above seasonal into the afternoon, especially on Friday, where we could see a little bit of messy conditions, which we'll get to. But for the most part, right now, cloudy skies, relatively calm out there before some sunshine reappears through the day tomorrow as we uptick a little bit of the warmth. Taking a look at the conditions, still a chance for some rainfall into early this afternoon, just a little bit of precipitation. Then as we roll overnight and get into Friday morning, we start to see the chance for some rainfall. Heavy rainfall to start Friday, and because temperatures on the day side are going to be abnormally warm for this time of year, that's why we see the chance of precipitation. But then temperatures quickly fall late in the afternoon overnight, which is why we could see a messy mix. So starting off with some rainfall, as we get to the afternoon, maybe see a little bit of freezing rain and then some snowfall on the way. So our commute anywhere Friday, continuing overnight into Saturday, could definitely be impacted. So just keep that in mind as we get closer towards the weekend. Daytime high values 4 in Pembroke as well as Ottawa and Kemptville. So temperatures much warmer this afternoon. I think it's welcomed at this point before a cool down reappears into the weekend. 4 in Petawawa and Gatineau at 3 degrees. Very different looking forecast over the next few days. We're seeing a little bit of everything. Well above seasonal temperatures today going into tomorrow. And then Thursday night, temperatures not falling whatsoever, just losing a degree or 2, 5 down to 4. And then we have a big swing Friday. Temperatures all the way up to 7 degrees, but then a sharp cold freeze that night. We go from 7 daytime high value to -11 Friday evening, and then -7 on Saturday. So Friday going into Saturday, we are seeing those mixed conditions with rainfall, freezing rain, snow, and a dramatic swing from temperatures being abnormally warm to then a little bit below seasonal. So just a little bit of heads up as we head into officially winter. Snowfall is on the way. And take a look at your roads on this hour. We have nothing major to report, just seeing a little bit of precipitation out there. Of course, with temperatures being on the milder side, some of that snowfall is just causing a little bit of slush around the road. So windshield washer fluid is a must at this time. And coming up on Your Morning Ottawa, Mama Africa FC is a community-based soccer program right here in Ottawa that is entirely free to play for those who can't afford it. We're going to tell you about that amazing program coming up after the break. First, we head back outside through our Centennial Glass Skycam, and cloudy, moody, but warm on your Wednesday. Stay with us, everybody. It is 8:13.
Today's snow report brought to you by Sommet Edelweiss, where happiness falls from the sky.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. A little snow report for you. I know over the next couple of days, not great for the ski hills. Hopefully, as we get to Friday evening into the weekend, these can improve a little bit. No new snow at Edelweiss for the day today, but the lifts will still remain open. Let's take a look at some other areas that we have for you. So Mont Cascade currently closed, as well as Calabogie. Camp Fortune has a couple lifts open, hopefully, and then Vorlage is going to be closed again. The next couple of days, we're seeing well above seasonal temperatures, so the ski hills might take a slight impact, but then they'll recoup into the weekend as those temperatures fall again.
JS here again, reminding you where to find the best ski and ride conditions, the best snowmaking, the quickest lifts, and your favorite runs. Come ski with me at Summit Edelweiss.
As federal public servants wait to hear more about the future of their jobs, we are learning hundreds of positions will be slashed from Natural Resources Canada. Now, the plan is to cut 400 positions from the department over the next 3 to 4 years. Why don't we bring in Bill Carroll from the Morning Rush on News Talk 580 CFRA and get his opinion on this. Good morning to you, Bill.
Good morning. That's a very frightening sounding headline, isn't it? 400 jobs. 400 jobs, except it's over the next 3 years. And if you do a little bit of quick math, 4% of the number of employees in that department is about 250 people, a little less, 250 people a year. Let's round it out to make it nice and easy. 250. That's how many people leave every year anyway, on average, in the federal government. And in most business, attrition is 4%. People retire, they go find other jobs, they leave. So in 2 years, you're up around 500. The number they're trying to get to is 600 in 3 years. It's a pretty easy number to hit. This is not a big deal at all. In fact, this is the Carney government once again spinning as a really interesting story about how determined they are to cut the size of the public service, when in fact all they're doing is not replacing workers who leave. And as you mentioned, they're giving out letters saying, hey, if you want to leave even earlier, we're willing to let you do that. In fact, these numbers don't even come close to what the recent budget just said about the size of cuts by 2029. It's going to be less than that. So an alarming headline, especially here in Ottawa, where a lot of federal public workers are based. But really, in the end, it's going to be a lot of people leaving work a little early, and some who are ready to retire anyway with a little extra paycheck in their pocket. So if this is our government's commitment to reducing the size of a bloated civil service, we're not going to get anywhere very quickly at this rate. They don't seem to have the courage to do what's necessary.
It does seem like it may be a slow crawl, at least with those numbers right there representing, like you said, 400 people. That's not that substantial, especially when you consider we're talking about tens of thousands of employees in the workforce. But it does seem like they are giving them fair notice about the potential.
Certainly not how it happens in most of the private sector, where you show up for work one day and there's a little envelope with a paycheck in it that says, this is your severance. Have a nice life. That's the reality most of us in the private sector have to deal with, and we've seen around us for years. So, I'm not. Listen, I always feel bad when any person who doesn't want to lose their job loses their job.
Of course.
But I don't think we're dealing with much of that. I think we're going to be dealing with a lot of people who will be happy to take the paycheck and leave early, or we're about to retire anyway. So, before you weep into your Cheerios this morning, just a quick math on some of those numbers. It's not so scary.
Bill, have a great show and a great Wednesday.
Thank you. You too.
Okay. Remember, you can listen to The Morning Rush with Bill Carroll on News Talk 580 CFRA weekdays from 6 to 10 a.m.
And coming up on Your Morning Ottawa, helping people in Ottawa play some soccer. We tell you more about this local program coming up and a big tournament with a massive purse on the way. We're going to take a peek outside. There's a Skycam on George Street and a nice mild Wednesday. 4 degrees is your daytime high. Enjoy it while it's here. Temperatures continue to rise before winter officially enters. Stay with us, everyone. We'll be right back. Mama Africa FC is a community-based program that allows people to play soccer who potentially would not be able to afford it. Jafar joins us from the organization. Yeah. Good morning to you, my friend. I'm great, thank you. I love this program because people that want to get involved in soccer that don't have the funds to do it, that's what this program is all about. And there's this massive tournament coming up with a massive purse. But before we get to that, I just want to talk a little bit more about Mama Africa FC.
So Mama Africa FC actually started because of my own struggles growing up. I found it so hard to play competitive soccer because it's so expensive here in Ottawa. So I was like, let me do something that maybe change that in the future for others. So I started this program. It's basically a program where people can play, compete, and to grow within the soccer community without having to worry about any financial, burdens. And this is where the team started. We launched in 2017, and we just started playing in tournaments, in leagues, winning, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. And now we compete in $100,000 tournaments. We compete, hopefully we're gonna compete in $1 million tournament later on in 2026. And this is how it started.
It's so amazing. We've got some video kind of going up of everyone starting to play. And, talk from your perspective, somebody that comes from not being able to play into the competitive soccer, and now you see people being able to enjoy it and actually have those, what that must mean to you must be amazing.
Honestly, it means a lot. When I was growing up, my dream was to be a competitive soccer player. I couldn't do that because I ruptured my MCL a couple of years ago, but I didn't want any problem, to face others. So that's why I created this, because I enjoy seeing, people happy about soccer. And there's a lot of people who can't afford to play, so why not,
Yeah, it's such an amazing program, and it speaks volumes too, because you've brought some cha-chang with you as well. So what have you got here today from some of the accomplishments?
So this is the annual cup. This is what you guys saw on the screen before. It was played at TD Place. It's a 3-month league that we ended up winning at TD. We lifted the trophy in front of thousands of fans. This is one of the closest to my hearts. So this is the SOCA Grand Prix Cup. We won it against teams that are from Montreal, Toronto, like all across Canada. And SOCA is something that is going to be big in the next few years. And we were the first team to accomplish that tournament.
I think it's so amazing too. And I want to talk about that tournament that's coming up. So $100,000 prize. What's that tournament about? And then if you were to win something like that, $100,000 towards this community program, what would that do for you?
So that tournament, oh my God, winner takes all. We have teams from the States, we have teams from Canada, best teams. My team have some Canadian national futsal team players as well, professional players as well. They were eager to join the team. We got them. If we win, we want to invest back in the community. We're not taking the money to us. For 7 years, I haven't made a dollar from the team. Everything that we win, it goes back to the team, back to the community. And this is, what we want to do. Just investing, man.
Jafar, this is so amazing. I want to thank you for all the work that you do, because you're giving people an opportunity to do something that they would not be in a position to do so. So thank you for your time today.
No problem.
But I'm not letting you go just yet. I need you. We've got a little bet. Michael Mercero thinks that he can stop a previously soccer player, 12 and under, goal. So I'm going to have you set me up here, and we'll see.
Yes.
You think I got him?
Oh, definitely. 100%.
Hit me.
Here we go. Let's go well. Oh my God. Well done, well done.
What do you think? Not bad, eh?
It's okay, Mike. We got you, man.
As he sits down in disappointment, Michael, it was a pleasure. Oh, come on now. Thank you again, Jafar. This is so great having you here.
No problem.
You can go on now. All right, coming up, we're heading from our soccer playfield to the kitchen. Wave, our friend. You know that we got. There we go. You know we're everywhere. Beautiful holiday treats coming your way. Stay with us, everyone. Good morning. Welcome. I'm Rosie Edda. Happy Wednesday, everybody. I'm Will Aiello, and it is a nice, mild day out there for everyone, something we haven't seen a lot of over the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, exactly. And that's going to last for a few more days, and then temperatures will drop
as winter officially arrives. Details on that coming up. We'll start with our news headlines. A new report says public servant productivity should be put under the microscope. The report was commissioned by the president of the Treasury Board to examine productivity inside the federal public service and help the government save billions of dollars in the coming years. Although the Treasury Board says it is not considering it at this time.
I'm disappointed and disagree with dropping the idea of trying to get better measurement. I think the big productivity gains in government are going to be the internal services that move people and information and resources around. They have to operate at a higher, faster pace.
Unions are sharing their concerns, saying that productivity cannot be improved by measurement alone. And in the meantime, new developments on the government's plan to reduce the size of the federal public service, as it appears hundreds of people working at Natural Resources Canada could lose their jobs in the years to come. In a statement to CTV News Ottawa, the department confirms it has sent letters to around 700 indeterminate employees to inform them their position will or may be impacted by future changes. It goes on to say that there are plans to eliminate approximately 400 positions by 2028-29. This is part of the government's plan to find $60 billion in savings.
Transit users in the East End could be one step closer to riding the new LRT extension. Work continues on the line, which runs from Blair to Trim Station. Deficiencies were discovered in the fall, and crews have worked since then on track infrastructure and reinforcing concrete. In an update yesterday, Mayor Mark Sutcliffe said testing should begin in early January, and OC Transpo says residents could be riding the train by the end of March. Canada's premiers are set to meet virtually with the Prime Minister later this week. Mark Carney will be hosting the First Minister's meeting on Thursday, and although it's said to be virtual, CTV News has confirmed that Ontario Premier Doug Ford will be there in person. There's no word yet on the focus of the meeting, but in the past, it has been to update the premiers on trade talks between Canada and the U.S. The last meeting was a month ago on November 17th.
One teenager is dead and another is facing impaired driving charges after a vehicle rolled off the road. This happened across the road from Cedar Hill Christmas Tree Farm in Pakenham just before midnight Monday. Police say no other vehicles were involved and an 18-year-old passenger did not survive. The driver and another passenger did. The 17-year-old driver is scheduled to appear in court next month.
Skate Canada says it will no longer host national and international events in Alberta because of the province's gender law. The law, which came into effect in September, blocks transgender athletes from Alberta who are 12 and older from competing in female amateur sports. Skate Canada says the law means it can no longer maintain its national standards for safe and inclusive sport.
And it's been a rough start to the season, and that has continued for the Ottawa Charge.
Behind the net, trying to center. Here's Miller with a wrist shot, and that was blocked by Moroz. Miller scores! There you go!
They fell 2-1 to Vancouver and have now lost 3 straight games. They are back in action tonight against Seattle.
Hopefully they can get that win and kind of get out of that losing streak. You know, it was Ottawa Charge, Ottawa Senators through a little bit of a rough patch there.
Just a bit, right?
But
yeah.
Maybe through the holiday season we can jump back into a nice W column.
I need my kazoo. That'll help them spur them on.
We know our producer Cassie's got her kazoo.
She's got one. Cassie, you need to bring out that kazoo, and we'll just blow into that and get them going, like you said, for the next few games.
I think that's what we need. We also need some snow in the forecast, but that's not what we're getting over the next couple of days, but then potentially returning into the weekend. I know the ski hills are getting prepared. The Rideau Canal is getting set, and we have had some wonderful conditions for that, especially with the cold temperatures. Over the next few days, though, we do a 180, and a warm-up begins before winter officially arrives. Today, climbing all the way up to 4 degrees, not breaking any records. Back in 2021, we reached 16 degrees. Not even coming close to that throughout the day today, but temperatures will still be above seasonal. Cloudy skies to start. Temperatures right now, 2 in Pembroke, 1 in Ottawa, right at that freezing mark in Montreal. We were just beneath that freezing mark early this morning. 3 in Kingston as well as Brockville. We'll continue to see some cloudy skies over the next few hours. Not a lot of sunshine through the day today, but it will return into the forecast tomorrow. But lots of cloud cover through the day today with just a chance we could see some precipitation in certain areas, but only a little bit of rainfall. Due to those temperatures being above the freezing mark and a little bit warmer than we typically see this time of year, the chance for precipitation arrives of rain, not snowfall. All that could change, though, in the days to come. So on Friday, we have a bit of a whirlwind day. Temperatures will be well above the mark, around 7 degrees with our daytime high value, but then we quickly drop down to -11 overnight. So starting early Friday morning, we see some rain enter through Ottawa. Then as temperatures start to fall late into the afternoon, we could see a little bit of messy conditions with some freezing rain and then some snowfall to arrive overnight into Saturday morning. So Friday all day long, our drive could be a little bit messy. So any traveling plans throughout the weekend, just be aware of these conditions that are rolling through. Total amounts between maybe 2 and 7 centimeters. It's a little bit hard to tell right now just because of the models ever changing with those temperatures, but definitely expect some messy conditions Friday rolling through the start of the weekend. Take a look at our daytime high values today, though, well above the mark. 4 in Pembroke and Ottawa. Bancroft at 3, 4 in Trenton, so temperatures all above seasonal. Nice mild day, couple of days before we start to see the colder temperatures really hold strong. 4 in Petawawa, 3 in Gatineau, and 1 in Tremblant, but seeing a mix of everything over the next several days. Today's not even the warmest day that we're seeing. As we roll to tomorrow, mix of sun and cloud nicely returns up to 5 degrees, not cold whatsoever overnight as we drop down to 4. Everything changes into Friday, starting with some rainfall, maybe some freezing rain, definitely some snowfall into the afternoon. 7 degrees will be our daytime high, but then it quickly freezes overnight to -11. And then look at that big swing from Friday into Saturday, 7 to -7. So enjoy the next couple of days if you like the warmth, because then the cold temperatures arrive just as we head into winter with some snowfall on the way.
Weather brought to you by Yegendorf Rashid. Experience, knowledge, and a commitment to excellence.
The 417 seeing some buildup starting at the 416 split until Maitland. Westbound on the Queensway slowing down at St. Laurent until about Parkdale. Then we flip the switch. Westbound on the 174 is experiencing delays between 10th Line and Montreal Road. The McDonald-Cartier and Champlain bridges are also moving slowly, so a little bit sticky on your Wednesday morning commute. Here we are
are in the Your Morning Kitchen with Charmaine Broughton, chef and author of Delicious and Doable. And today we are talking about delicious and doable recipes using tahini.
Yes, and we're
morning.
turning these recipes using tahini into holiday showstoppers.
Okay.
So here's the thing, maybe you've bought some tahini to make a hummus, and then you've got a lot of it left in the jar, and you're like, what on earth can I do with the rest of the tahini? Well, I'm gonna show you what on earth you can do with the rest of the tahini.
Okay.
Starting with a fabulous molasses tahini dressing.
Can you just, for anybody who doesn't know, what's tahini made of?
Yes, tahini. So I like to call it peanut butter's Middle Eastern cousin.
There you go.
So how peanut butter, to make peanut butter, you use peanuts. Well, to make tahini, you use sesame seeds. So it's just ground sesame seeds, and it's a very common ingredient in hummus. But you can use it for a variety, or in a variety of other recipes and dishes as well.
Tasty.
Okay. So tasty, so delicious, a great pantry staple, and it brings lots of things to life.
Okay.
So we are going to make a tahini molasses dressing, and this dressing is going to go on top of our roasted cauliflower, apple, and radicchio salad. This is a fabulous holiday showstopper, pairs well with turkey, roast beef, anything. Okay, so for the dressing, we're gonna start off with some of the Crosby's Fancy Molasses, okay? Not just for gingerbread cookies anymore, folks. You can use it in those savory dishes. I also have a little bit of minced garlic, okay?
Mix that in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And then we're gonna add a little bit of that tahini, just like this. A little bit of chili flakes and some lime juice. You could use lemon juice and or some cider vinegar as well. And some lime zest. I figure if you are buying the limes anyhow to juice, you might as well utilize the zest.
The zest, okay.
Just make sure that you are washing the citrus fruit well. Now,
because you're using the zest there.
I just want to show you something. As you can see, when you add an acidity to tahini, it tends to seize up. So at the beginning, it will be nice and loose, but see how it's getting really thick here?
I do, yeah.
So what you're gonna do is you're just gonna add a little splash of water, and it will thin it out a bit, and all the tips and tricks and all the measurements are up on my website, charmainebroughton.com. We're gonna add a little bit of oil and a tiny little bit of salt.
Pinch, just a pinch.
Yep, that's it. Salt is the most important ingredient in the kitchen, and it brings
that flavor,
all
right?
those flavors. So I know, isn't that absolutely stunning?
Beautiful.
And honestly, the molasses just adds an amazing depth of flavor to this salad. It's so festive and beautiful. We're gonna top the whole thing with my seedy crunch topping like this. And
What's
then
in that?
this is sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, a little bit more of the Crosby's molasses.
Beautiful is that?
And yeah, you just bake it out on a baking sheet for about 15 minutes.
Okay.
Let it cool completely. Again, all the tips and tricks and measurements and directions are up on my website. One little thing though I just want to show you, if to elevate any salad for the holidays, not that this needs any more elevation, you're going to cut a pomegranate in half.
Okay.
You're going to flip it upside down, stand back because you're wearing white.
Oh, okay.
And you're going to thump those seeds over the salad.
There you go.
And ta-da, you get these gorgeous jewels of pumpkin seeds on top of this nutrient-dense, beautiful, amazing salad using tahini.
Isn't that beautiful?
Isn't it stunning? Nutrient-dense, delicious, doable, using pantry staples and using up that tahini.
Okay, fantastic.
Now, from savory to sweet, because
love it.
Maybe this morning you and I aren't sweet enough, or maybe we are and we just need to be extra sweet. My ginger-studded white chocolate tahini blondies.
Okay, Charmaine, we gotta race through this, all right?
So butter, tahini.
There you go.
Flour. A couple of eggs. I'm just going to crack one because we got to run.
Yeah.
Brown sugar, white sugar. In it goes.
White sugar.
White
Nice.
chocolate. Sesame seeds.
A lot of texture.
Candied ginger.
Look at us using tahini in this.
I know.
Sweet mix.
Just
right
like this.
here.
We're going to stir it all together.
Yeah.
So we're playing a little bit of the pretend cooking show right now.
Go. Okay.
Then we're going to put it into our 8-inch square baking pan.
Using parchment, right?
Little hot tip for parchment paper to get it into the pan. You're going to crumple it up. Then form it in to the sides like
that's a
this,
great tip.
and it stays put, and your batter will easily go in.
Tip. Thank you for that. I'll use that next time.
Then you've got these stunning ginger tahini white chocolate blondies, perfect for the holidays. You can spray them with edible glitter. and it just elevates it and makes it festive and fun using those pantry staples. So get in the kitchen, use that tahini, use them in delicious and doable ways, and just, you know, elevate your holiday cooking and eating.
CharmaineBroughton.com.
Yes.
Charmaine, chef and author of Delicious and Doable.
Yes.
Cannot wait to try that. Thank you so much, Charmaine.
My
really
absolute
appreciate it.
pleasure.
Cooking with tahini. If you know of a great chef or restaurant you think we should feature on Your Morning Kitchen, why don't you let us know? Your Morning Ottawa at CTV.ca. 8:43. We're taking a look there, a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. We'll be right back after this short break.
Ask the expert on Your Morning Ottawa. Brought to you in part by CAA Travel Insurance.
All right, everybody, it is Ask the Expert time with CAA Travel Insurance. If you got some questions for them, you can send them on over. You can live call us at 613-789-6559, extension 2803, or you can email our wonderful team, yourmorningottawa@ctv.ca, with any questions from today's segment or potentially to reach out to them in the future. We are joined today by Rachel Alon from CAA Travel Insurance to talk about cruise and sun destination season, what you need to know, how you're protected, but how you can escape the cold this winter season. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
I love that, and especially, you know, right now, actually, today's the only day we've seen some mild temperatures, but then it reminds you about how great that is. What do you think the most important thing is if we're starting to think about those sunny destinations?
So planning. Planning is very, very important. You don't want to leave things to the last minute and then be scrambling and be stuck. So, you know, talk to a travel agent. They know all the good stuff. They know how to, you know, access resources that you may not see online, and make sure that you have your travel insurance as well as documentation up to date and everything.
Okay, it is officially what you guys call wave season.
Yes.
Heading on the cruise, thinking about all those beautiful water sights and all the sunshine that has to go with it. What are some things that you're looking at right now, cruise season-wise, that we should keep our eyes peeled for?
So obviously, you know, Caribbean is popular in the wintertime. It's easy to get to, it's quick, and you can get down there. You can be on a private island. From many of the cruise lines, they offer their private island beach days. You know, it's a lot of fun. It's nice and warm. Europe, though, is still, there's still some ships out in Europe, and you can certainly do some beautiful sailing in Europe. And, you know, if you want to do something more exotic, how about Galapagos? I'm heading out there in February. Can't wait to go.
Oh, my goodness. I'm extremely jealous on that front. That's going to be such a beautiful trip.
It's going to be gorgeous.
The last cruise I was on was the Disney cruise, I think when I was in grade 2. So, well, treat me as a newbie, okay? I'm going on my first cruise. We're going to Galapagos. How do I make sure that it is smooth sailing from the get-go?
Okay, check your passport. Is it valid for 6 months or more? Get travel insurance. It's super, super important to protect that investment. It's not a cheap venture to go to, so, you know, protect it. If anything happens and you have to cancel, your travel insurance can cover you for that kind of stuff. If there's delays while you're going, your travel insurance can cover you for the interruption part of it as well. Make sure that you research the area you're going to. So check the ports that you're going to be at. Understand where you're going so that you know, things to do, things to see. Book your shore excursions early so that you're not scrambling on the ship, waiting in line to book those shore excursions and be disappointed because you can't have them. And take pictures of your documentation. So make sure you have a copy somewhere in case something gets lost, something gets destroyed, anything can happen. Make sure that you have that copy and easily accessible.
It's funny, right, how we've gotten to such a digital world, but sometimes it always just feels, I feel a little bit safer still having like a paper copy of something, just so you have it with you.
Exactly. Keep one at home. You know, you give one to your family member and keep one in your suitcase. That is a perfect thing to do as well in paper.
I love that too. And we're going to continue this conversation after the break. We're going to keep diving in about what you need to know, what you need to know if it's your first trip or if you've done this many times, but then there's certain things that you might not be aware of. Ask the expert. You can call them with any questions for Rachel and our team. Your Morning Ottawa at CTV.ca. If you want an email, the live phone call is right there. But Rachel and I will be right back after a few messages.
Ask the expert on Your Morning Ottawa. Brought to you in part by CAA Travel Insurance.
All right, we're about to continue our conversation with CAA Travel Insurance, but if you would like to get a hold of them for any questions that you have for an upcoming trip or potentially one that you are planning, you want to talk about some insurance, but you don't quite know some details, You can call them at 1-800-267-8713, or you can visit their website, insureyourtrip.ca. And I feel like that website, insureyourtrip.ca, is the perfect representation of what you should do. Rachel Lalonde joins us from CAA once again. We're talking about when you go on a trip, what you should know, what you need to prepare for. And it's the worst of circumstances, but it's important that everyone should be prepared for the worst. And I want to talk about some medical emergencies and what you should know when you're traveling.
Okay, so OHIP doesn't cover you outside of Ontario. They'll cover things in Canada, you know, to what OHIP pays for, but anything over and above, it comes out of your pocket. If you're traveling out of Canada completely, OHIP doesn't cover you, so you need to have insurance to cover you for those medical emergencies. Those bills can be really, really expensive. They can be hundreds of thousands of dollars, or just a simple ambulance ride within Canada could be a couple of $1,000s, so you'll be out of pocket. So having that emergency medical insurance can cover you up to $5 million, and you're protected.
Yeah, and you know, unfortunately, I know of stories too where those bills, they do get out of hand, and it's something you never want to think about, but if it does happen to you already during a really difficult time, now you're having to worry about bills that you didn't plan for.
Well, that's the thing. They want your credit card before you get service. So with the insurance, they pay for it up front. So they take your insurance details, they take care of you, and you're not having to worry about, you know, calling the bank for a mortgage to pay for a medical bill.
Yeah, so I think it's really important that we just keep that mindset to make sure we're as prepared as possible. And then on the flip side, what are some positive travel hacks that you have for our friends that are watching?
You know what? Planning early. That's a great thing. It takes the stress out of there when everything's done and ready. Plan to arrive a day early. If you're doing a tour, if you're doing a cruise, arrive a day early so that if there's any weather, any delays, you're not scrambling trying to get to your trip. You're not going to miss the first 2 days or whatever of your trip. It's relaxing. Pack smart. Don't pack the house. You're only going for a couple of days or a couple of weeks. Pack smart. Use packing cubes. It helps compress everything, and you're making more room in your suitcase. Pack a go-ready bag, so something that you're going to carry with you. If your luggage is going to be porterage to your cabin or to your room from the tour, pack a bag that you can use. You can put your bathing suit on while your suitcases are being sent to your cabin. You have something that you can change into. Book excursions early so that you know that you're going to get what you want. And you know, just be prepared. Just do everything early.
And if you know those excursions, you can pack a little bit easier too with some outfit. Do you think I'm a good or bad packer?
I'm not sure.
I think that's so fair. And to be honest with you, I've gone back and forth between being so overpacked and then underpacked, but that's really fun. You know me right away. When it comes to insurance, you know, we're talking about packing and making sure you're prepared as possible. For someone like me, someone like you, is it like a one-size-fits-all with your insurance, or they can be tailored towards each individual?
It needs to be tailored to each individual. So the length of your trip, your age, where you're going as well. If you're in Canada, you can get a Canada plan. If you're going international, get an international plan. If you're going just once, get the one standalone insurance policy to cover your trip. But if you're planning on going 2, 3, 4 times in the year, get a multi-trip plan, and it'll cover you for the whole year. You can come and go as you please and not have to worry, am I insured? You have that yearly coverage. If you're planning on being adventurous and doing that hang gliding and parasailing and all of that, make sure you get the adventurous rider onto your insurance. If you've got medical conditions and you know, not necessarily stable and tweaks need to be made with your condition, if you're stable for 7 days before your trip, you can get the stability rider as well, the pre-existing condition rider added to your policy. So depends on who you are, depends on what you're doing, and we have insurance to cover everybody.
Oh, I love that, Rachel. We always appreciate your time putting us a little bit at ease for what should be just a nice, fun, exciting trip. I will have to get the adventure insurance myself for me, but always appreciate your time. Yeah, you too. All right, if you want to contact Ask the Expert for CAA Travel Insurance, you can call them, numbers right up there, or visit their website, insureyourtrip.ca, with any more questions you might have. Rosie.
Thank you for that, Will. Thanks so much for watching. That's all from us here on Your Morning Ottawa. We will see you right back here tomorrow morning. Take care.